driving or actually making Andhra Pradesh as a defense cluster. Having said that, what I think really surprised, I mean, just to give you, just to give you an idea about what the defense councillor, holds, we just had the defense policy launched in the state government a few months ago. This was, I think, in June this year. And just to give you an idea of how ambitious this policy is, the policy looks to attract over 1 lakh crore of investments into the state of Andhra Pradesh. And this is not just by having defense clusters in just one region. The idea is to segregate and have defense clusters spring up across the state. Just to give you an idea, for example, the naval cluster that the defense policy talks about is looking at between Visakhapatnam and Srikakulam and having about 3,000 acres of land. So this is on the north side of the state of Andhra Pradesh. Similarly, a missile and ammunition cluster, which is slated to come over Jagepeta in the NTR district, which is best central to the state. Then we have an unmanned cluster, which is also known as the drone cluster, to come in at Kurnool district, which is south of Andhra Pradesh. Simultaneously, we have an aerospace and electronics cluster, which will be spread across 4,000 and 5,000 acres. This will again be in the south part of the state of Andhra Pradesh, which is in the Anandpur side of the state. And then lastly, we have the aircraft components and manufacturing cluster, a 4,000 acre space coming up in the Prakasam district, which will be again in the south of Andhra Pradesh. So this gives you an idea about how the state government has thought about the defense policy and not to centralize everything in just one area, is to spread defense cluster manufacturing while also making a very concerted and sincere effort in bringing out advanced technologies. So the policy lays a lot of emphasis in terms of having innovation and advanced type of technologies coming into this sector. So I think that really kudos to that. I won't take most of your time, I won't take more time here, keeping in mind you have a whole plethora and a list of speakers here. But I must tell you that these 3 days, and I hope that all of the delegates over here get a chance to interact with the local officials also, while also get to see the exhibition. We have about 40 plus exhibitors who have come in here. And they're showcasing, as per my knowledge over here, they're showcasing some of the most innovative solutions and technologies that the country has to see. So I think a round of applause to all the exhibitors, to all the sponsors who have come in here. So again, my best wishes to everybody here, and I hope that these 3 days brings out the best in terms of deliberations and participations and gets good suggestions back for the state also. Thank you so much. Thanks, Arshita.
Thank you so much, Mr. Aditya, for your insights and for energizing us as we begin the SwaRaksha Mahotsav 2025. Next, it is my honor to invite Shri Sajid Mukhtar, Chairman cum Managing Director of Roto Group of Industries, to deliver the special address. His presence here, ladies and gentlemen, reflects the vital role of industry leadership in shaping innovation and partnership for national security. Sir, may we request you to kindly take the podium.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sajid, and I'm a third-generation entrepreneur, a grandson to a freedom fighter who was arrested and jailed in a jail in Roorkee. And that time, Ganges Canal was getting maintained, and he started dreaming about Atmanirbhar Bharat then. This is early 1900 I'm talking about. He started working to replicate the instruments which were being imported at that point in time from Stanley, London, and started his own factory in 1936. So it's almost 90 years now, third generation. Can I have a presentation running? Sanjay has given me a topic which was supposed to be given to a politician rather than a technocrat industrialist. I'll try to do my best. Let me see if I can get your attention to the slogan, Brave Bharat and Secure Bharat. Trying to build a multi-domain national security ecosystem. There are few things that I can pitch in as a technocrat, but there are few things that you will have to understand as an Indian. When I was very young, when I started my business, I started with 2 couplets. They were under my table glass. The first one was from Bhagavad Gita, Karmaseva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. And this is how I will say that the bravery is inherent to us. I was reading a book from Ronald Bergman. It's called To Rise and to Kill First. So this is how the peace and defense work together. Or maybe peace and defense are 2 sides of the same coin, or whichever way you want to interpret it. So if someone comes to kill you, you rise and kill him first. So the best defense is to first attack. Every ethnic group, be it Indian or Jewish or Western civilization, every community has stood the test of time, has done so because the leaders and the soldiers and common man was in love, purely in love. The inspiration to defend, secure, is for the love of our people and dedication to our country. It was the same inspiration of Mahatma Gandhi to lead the freedom movement, who said a coward is incapable of exhibiting love. Love is a prerogative of brave. Indians are known for bravery. So that's the first part of the Mahotsav, Brave Bharat. This has been proven time and again. Stories of heroism and bravery of Indian men and women, starting from Queen Umayama of Kerala or Lakshmi Bai of Jhansi, from Chandragupta Maurya to Maharana Pratap, the stories are filled with valor. The Battle of Saragri was fought on September 12, 1897, when 21 Sikh soldiers of the British Army's 36th Sikh Regiment, if I remember it correctly, made a heroic stand at the Saragri communication post against the estimation of 10,000 or 20,000 Pashtun or Qazi tribal warriors. The line of Naushera, everybody knows, Brigadier Muhammad Usman, 1947-48 war, he defended Naushera. Though he was offered a chief of staff by the army, Pakistani army, but he still stayed loyal to India. Major General Ian Cardozo, it's a true grit. The guy in 1971 war, after stepping on a landmine, amputated his leg by a Gorkha knife and continued to fight, became the first disabled commander and the head of the brigade. So when I was young, I used to hear about this song, "Us mulk ki sarhad ko koi chhu nahi sakta, jis mulk ki sarhad ki nigehban hai aankhein." The catch line here is whose eyes are vigilant. So how do we technically interpret this word eyes and vigilance? That is my address today. So as best echoed in our national anthem, Indian landscape embrace the towering Himalayas, the arid desert, the Indo-Gangetic plain, the ancient Deccan Plateau, its long coastlines, and far-flung tropical islands. Our 4 armed forces securing the nation's borders means maintaining vigilance across all terrain, from the humid coast to the scorching desert and the icy glaciers. The vast length and diversity of Indian borders demand the use of modern technology and to maintain a constant vigilance. For example, in Operation Singudur, we have recently seen how sophisticated technology was deployed to maintain to neutralize threats The Indian Army use Akash Tir system, successfully detect aerial intrusions and engage army threat. Battle-proven air defense systems like Chora, OSA, AK, or LLAD. It's a lower level air level defense system. Indigenous systems such as Akash, which demonstrated a stellar performance. While having advanced technologies and detecting electronic signals and aerial intrusions, detecting small ground intrusion is and still needs a very around India, giving the title card to each poor around India, giving the title card to each poor person who was not even having a right for his land. It's a very successful project. The Mammoth project all over the use of technology for civilian use case, rather than the other side of the borders who are using it for destruction. So what do we need in visual intelligence? Rapid deployed system there. The communication systems between the sensors and the person on the ground, and of course the power and the endurance that we have in hand. I was hearing Amy Herman. She is an expert. She talks a lot about defense and you know, the way things work in the defense field in the West. So I'm struck with the idea of having 4 A's: is to acquire, to analyze, to articulate, or adapt, or to act. So these are the 4 A's that I'm putting up it back to the things that I best understand, and that is technology. How do we use the 4 A's of visual intelligence? We have to gather information about a situation or an object. We have to focus on interpretation. So if you see so whichever the platform may be, the platform can be a fixed wing or a multi or a UAV or a buggy or an ROV, and deployed with various different sensors starting from RGB, LiDAR, thermal, multispectral, for real-time change detection. That is very important to be noted here. The ultrasonic probes, the gas detectors, and the radiation sensors. When you're using all these sensors on a very strong platform, undetected. Analyze. This is to prioritize the information collected, recognize and determining relevance to make informed decisions. Now this is for the abnormal behavior of certain individuals. So automated processing may be one of the most important AI tools. So people are talking about artificial intelligence. Usually they just go and stop at ChatGPT. So there are several tools to identify, track, and report threats calibrated to a single data source. So we need to develop tools to integrate multiple data sources, like the anomaly between the RGB and the SAR image with different time codes or timestamps. So we need edge computing. So now we now have the ability to process significant amount of data on the drone or on the ground control, on the edge of processing nodes connected to several data sources. Effectively communicate observations and analyze to others, ensuring clarity and understanding is to articulate. So this is connecting the key to use UAV. So I have a background of UAVs as well. You will see it in our booth, displayed a family of drones, where the communication modules to be used are command and control, telemetry, and anyone using BVLOS beyond the line of visual sight or beyond visual line of sight today will know its great potential technology required to make it completely safe to operate. So this is the failback communication systems are essentially to keep things running when the primary system fails. Adapt, or I would say to act. So it's to adapt the behavior using on insight gained, foster continuous improvements in observation and communication skills. So this is to enhance the situational awareness, or remote access to an inaccessible areas, communicate effectively, and visually see, even in the nighttime. We were working on a system which we were forced to because of the GNSS denied space. Does it work? We wanted to make a system which can be deployed with the press of button. This came because I am coming from the state of Uttarakhand, and there are a lot of accidents happen, and people fall down into the gorge or valleys, and then you are unable to track where the body is lying or an injured person is lying. The police force is struggling to show an encounter. Sorry to say that. So running around the criminal and to track the criminal running in the field, grasslands or whatever. How do they track? If the firefighter goes to a situation where the fire is there, so how do they track that? If you go as a sentry or an armed force soldier in the forward line and there's a sniper sitting on the other side, you take your head out and he will shoot you dead. How do you track that? If you are in a situation where there is a disaster and you want to see, like we have seen recently in the hills of Uttarakhand, where are the people trapped or the bodies are lying, how do you see that? So we came up with a novel idea of an artificial intelligent drone system, which I say can be used by my grandmother. It's press of one single button and it takes off. You just scan the QR on the drone, so your telephone gets connected to it. Every soldier, every policeman, every illiterate man, every person that need not to be a pilot can use it. You just have to shoot a button and it goes up. It communicates to the command center, so the command center see it on his television set, can give the commands from there, or it can be seen on a telephone without any ground control, without any training, without any type certification from DGCA, nothing, and cheap. So this we have now successfully demonstrated. So I'll show you in my next presentation, maybe tomorrow, how this technology has developed and how it has been successfully adapted to Indian conditions in rain, storm, snow, and everything. So the main focus was the speed of response, and the operational flexibility, the force projection, enhance survivability, interoperability, and sustainability. And of course, the dual use advantage in disaster and relief. The second thing that we have seen very recently in Operation Sindoor is the EW resilience, where the GNSS can be spooked, the radio can be jammed, your system can be sitting ducks. You cannot fly in that kind of situation. So how do we respond back with technologies in situation like this? And AI-assisted threat libraries, real-time recognition or adverse jamming emission. Redundant communication paths, so we have multiple packets, so they are working in 2 different channels, and you can swap over. The drone swarms, so you can take a lot of drones in a single swarm. You can have hundreds of them working with different areas, looking for different threats, and still connected to your command center or connected to the GCS, the ground control. So now, radios that sense the EM environment in real time and automatically switch frequencies, waveforms, power levels that can avoid jamming, possible. Using AI ML, so we started using machine learning in 2008 for various defects on the payments, because I'm originally a surveyor, so we come from that background of payment conditions, crack monitoring and all. We are using the same kind of machine learning algorithm and architecture that we design and develop in Bangalore for the drones as well, to train them for weapons, for BMPs, AMPs, for snipers, for anything. And they automatically create an artificial intelligence scenario on board. You have a spread spectrum and frequency eligibility techniques like frequency hopping, like FHSSS, or direct sequence spread spectrum, the DSSS. Make signals harder to detect or jam. We have seen that, and even to intercept. Low probability of intercept dissection, LPI or LPD waveforms. Stealth communication using noise-like signals or highly directional beams, using sensors based on LiDAR rather than radar, or using active sensors. We have the adaptive beam forming and smart antennas, which can be actually used for dynamic spectrum allocation to avoid congestion or contested bands at the same time. So this is how we work on the navigation reply to the GNSS denied space. So somebody was asking me, how does the IRNSS or NAVIC working? And I told him that doesn't work well because we don't get a good connect, we don't get a good accuracy on the ground. You know, we have to use it, or we don't have to use it and we go to something else. So, and what is that something else? So we go to INS, IMU, inertial measurement systems, or inertial navigation systems, which currently are ranked very high. It comes from the West. Nobody makes it that smart anymore or that cheaper. So Sanjay is telling me to wrap up quickly. Yeah, okay, so I'll just quickly communicate the communication systems that comes and is a very important part of it, that how the mesh networking or satellite links and other things works. I'll be available for the next 2 days, so we can have a discussion if anybody is interested in that. Now comes the final thing, endurance and enhancement. We started with lithium-ion batteries, jumped over to LiPo, and now working on the hydrogen fuel cell, so which is, of course, an emerging technology right now. And that's the end of the presentation. So with how secure is Bharat? So that is the question I leave to the audience. With India's large technical pool, with leadership that has the will, we have recently seen a number of times, do we need industrialists having a flair to go an extra mile for the benefit of the nation or for their own pockets? This needs a lot of soul searching today. Do we have that love in our heart, as without which we can neither be brave or secure? Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Shri Sajid Mukhtar, for sharing such valuable perspectives, your beautiful analogies, your thought-provoking insights on the 4 A's. Remind us on how industry leadership and innovation together drive preparedness and progress. And yes, salute to the Indian spirit of never say die. Thank you so much for that, sir. And ladies and gentlemen, it is my extreme privilege of inviting Shri Shanka Brata Bagchi, IPS, Commissioner of Police, Visakhapatnam, to kindly join us on stage. An energetic and resounding round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, as he joins us. Welcome, sir. And now to formally open this Mahotsav, dignitaries on the dais to kindly step up, and we would start with the lighting of the lamp. May I also request Dr. Raghav Rao Puttapalli, founder and CEO, BDSR Solutions LLP, to join us. Also inviting Shri Aditya Sabharwal, Head Marketing and Communication, Vizag Industrial Scan, to join us for this special moment. May I also extend a warm invitation to Shri Sanjay Singh, Director General, Trade Promotion Council for Geospatial and Space Industry, to kindly join us for this ceremony. As our esteemed guests light the lamp, I request the AV team to please play the prayer song. As the lamp is lit, ladies and gentlemen, may this flame remind us that every spark of knowledge has the power to drive away ignorance. Every spark of innovation has the power to transform challenges into opportunities. And every spark of collaboration has the power to secure our tomorrow. Thank you, dignitaries, for lighting the way forward for us. Not just for this Mahotsav, but for the vision and purpose it represents. With this SwaRaksha Mahotsav 2025, ladies and gentlemen, we formally illuminate. Moving forward, it is my privilege to invite Shri Rupesh Gundapalli, CEO of XD Links Space Labs Private Limited, to deliver the special address. His work stands at the forefront of India's growing space ecosystem, and today we look forward to his vision on how space technologies can strengthen security and resilience across multiple domains. Sir, the forum is all yours. We welcome you.
Dignitaries and all the my co-panelists, and all of you, good morning. Thank you, special thanks to SwaRaksha Mahotsav and the CEO, XD-Link Space Labs. We are into the space domain where we're developing the technology that actually maps to the use cases, what we are going after under the defense as well as the civilian applications. So we have the dual purpose technology being developed, and that's what we're going to showcase today. As we all see today, how that geopolitical situation is shaping up, and how dynamically it's playing out. I would like to start with very popular saying that there are no permanent friends, there are no permanent enemies, but there are always common interests. So similarly, India has clearly identified the best interest that works for India, and we and playing our course in the right way to strategize and strengthen the capabilities to actually address the countermeasures, and also bring in this indigenization in terms of defending, and also innovating to lead the the evolution in the technology. So this leads us to an emerging warfare strategy called multi-domain operations, where apart from the land, water, and the sea, so we have the cyber and space domains are playing a significant roles in in bringing in the strategy in terms of addressing the security and defense establishments. So we at XD Links, we are actually working on developing the platforms that have the relevant domain, where we have that the continuous monitoring without having any issues with the endurance and the limitations with the time which we can operate. So what we are developing in with XD Links to have that bring in that surveillance and reconnaissance capability to host various sensors and payloads, right from the photon sensing and the microwave-driven payloads, to bring in that complete stack, the entire ISR and various orbits as well as various altitudes. That actually brings in this completeness of the solution, integrating between space and the terrestrial operations with connecting with the UAV. So we are primarily working on building this solutions towards integrating the ISR capability, multi-orbit SATCOM grid, and also exploring and beyond space, deep space, where we're going after the cislunar, leveraging our platforms qualified to those domains. So under Atmanirbharan, the increase of capabilities and capacity, we at XD Links are committed to support this vision by facilitating all the categories of space assets, covering use cases like ISR, SATCOM, PNT network, and the SSA, and then in-orbit service and maintenance operations. So far, as a company, XD Links, so we are about 300 years old company. So we're about 140 people in a team. So far we launched 2 satellites, one from India and one from US. And we are actually scheduled to launch 24 satellites, combining commercial entities to bring in this capability to enhance the Indian space utilization and bring in the more assets. See, as I see the industry shaping up, the world is kind of more moving. The way I see at least the way we see is the economy, the power of the economy of any nation, as we see in the future and the coming days, is going to be determined based on how many space assets are going to be owned and operated by any nation. Because the fundamental of space is nobody owns space. So there is no restriction, limitation in terms of leveraging the space, putting the assets. So the idea is to maximize the utilizing the space to the extent to bring in the capability to actually bring in the surveillance and also improve the agility in terms of operating and also bring in countermeasures and to counter the threats being posted by the our neighbors. So our strategy is to leverage the strategy. What we are actually adopting is space being pretty interesting, but there are no much volumes in the space sector. So the idea is the ask from the space sector. What we are focusing is leveraging the advancements, primarily from automotive and the consumer electronics, where the chips and all the the processor ecosystem to actually improve the agility. We're trying to bring in those technology developed in that neighboring industry, space qualify, leverage them, and bring in that kind of a dynamism and the agilities. I'm very excited to be here. Me being born and raised from Visakhapatnam, I studied in Visakhapatnam and joined ISRO back in those days, and I moved on. And I worked with companies like Pratt & Whitney, aircraft engines, and then Applied Materials. And then I joined as one of the founding members with a company called, back then, Space Startup, Planet Labs, where we built and launched hundreds of satellites to bring in the surveillance, to bring in that to Sanjay for having me here. And also thanks to SwaRaksha Mahotsav team and having me here and my team to bring in and like showcase our capabilities. Thank you.
Thank you, Shri Rupesh, for that security and preparedness. The clarity with which you linked the opportunities of space with the challenges of defense and resilience leaves us inspired, and it also underscores why ventures like XT-Links are so critical in shaping India's future readiness. We're truly grateful to have you with us, sir. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, let's show our admiration with a huge round of applause. Thank you. Pleasure to welcome our guest of honor, Commodore Girideep Singh, Chairman and Managing Director, Hindustan Shipyard Limited, to share his address with us. Welcome, sir.
Inauguration of this wonderful event, SwaRaksha Mahotsav, beautifully conceived and crafted by our friend Advocate Sanjay Singh, Director General of the Trade Promotion Council for Geospatial and Space Industry. Talking about the event and spirit of SwaRaksha, I have been told by organizers to share about HSL and its growth journey. But before I speak about Hindustan Shipyard Limited, allow me to share my thoughts on this Mahotsav itself. This is not just another event on the calendar. SwaRaksha Mahotsav is a celebration of India's quest for self-reliance in defense production, innovation, and industry collaboration. We meet at a time when global dynamics are shifting rapidly. Geopolitical changes, supply chain disruptions, and technological transformations are the order of the day. In such times, India's emphasis on Atmanirbharta is not only timely, it is essential. I must compliment TPC GSI for launching the Mahotsav at exactly the right moment when the Indian defense industry is witnessing a historic rise in opportunities. Turning to Hindustan Shipyard Limited and its 8 decades of service to the nation. Founded in 1941 by visionary industrialist Sept Walchand Hirachand, I think all of you must be knowing him. He was a great visionary before independence who laid the foundation of Hindustan Shipyard Limited in the marine sector, for Hindustan Aeronauticals Limited in aircraft sector, aviation sector, and also the premier Padmini and Walchand Industry Limited in heavy engineering and road sector. HSL is India's first modern greenfield shipyard and one of the oldest defense industrial enterprises in the country. Over the past 84 years, HSL has delivered 200 ships. We have repaired over 2,000 vessels serving Indian Navy, Coast Guard, ONGC, SCI, DCI, and also various foreign customers. We began with merchant ships, moved into offshore platforms in the 70s, and today we execute complex warship and submarine projects. Strategically located on the east coast at Visakhapatnam, HSL has always been at the heart of India's maritime capability. Now, what is the turnout story? It is the story from struggle to strength. Friends, HSL's journey has been full of challenges. For more than 4 decades, the company remained in losses, unable to fully utilize its potential. But today, HSL stands as a story of revival and resilience. In financial year 2024-25, we achieved our highest ever value of production of 1,471 crores with a total income of 1,783 crores. Profit before tax of rupees 284 crores and net profit of 213 crores are the highest in our history. Our 40 years HSL net worth turned positive, and after revaluation of assets now stands at rupees 490 crores. Credit rating has improved from BBB to A. Our order book today stands at nearly 20,000 crores, which assures us of work for next 7 to 8 years. We are eagerly awaiting the award of Mini Ratna status to our yard, which is expected shortly. This is not just a turnaround in numbers, it is turnaround in confidence. The confidence of our customers, predominantly the Indian Navy and Coast Guard, confidence of the government of our vendors and partners, and most importantly, of the dedicated workforce of HSL. What made it possible? Well, it will be a separate topic in itself, since it involves not just one step, but many steps. And each step is a story in itself. Suffices to say that transformational reforms, business process re-engineering, policy refinements, financial reforms, digitalization, supply chain management, diversification efforts, and focus on skill development, and above all, the will of Team HSL to change the existing scenario and move toward positivity. I will be failing in my duty if I don't mention and acknowledge the chief architect of this revival story, our ex-CMD Commodore Hemant Khatri, and Team HSL, who, through their steadfast approach, vision, and foresight, brought out this revival. HSL transformation is firmly aligned with governments of India's vision. Firstly, Atmanirbhar Bharat and Make in India. HSL has taken giant strides in indigenization, sourcing equipment, systems, and material that were earlier imported. Every major project we execute today creates opportunity for Indian suppliers and MSMEs. Maritime India Vision 2030. This vision seeks to triple coastal and inland waterways, expand port capacity, and create green shipping corridors. HSL is contributing by targeting to develop passenger ferries, auxiliary naval platforms, nations. HSL is aligning itself by preparing for submarine construction, offshore oil and gas platforms, autonomous vessels, and digital shipbuilding. Fourth, landmark defense projects. Our fleet support ship program, 45,000, one of the largest warship order ever placed on an Indian shipyard. The upcoming life extension project of a submarine will demonstrate our ability to executing contracts. We are contributing directly to Indian maritime strengths for 2030 and 2047. What are the opportunities for HSL? Recognizes this and is committed to growing together. We have a vendor base of 1,700 companies, many of them MSMEs, and every large contract for shipbuilding and digital design. I want to stress that the growth of HSL must translate into the growth of MSMEs, and that is how we build a truly self-reliant defense industrial base. Looking ahead, India's maritime sector is on the brink of unprecedented growth. The modernization of the Navy, expansion of the Coast Guard, we are venturing into green technologies, hydrogen-powered tugs, hybrid vessels, and electric ferries. Our status as a net worth positive has opened doors for export opportunities. With our assured order book and new culture means protection. It reminds that a nation's true strength lies in its ability to protect itself using its own capabilities in defense, in industry, in technology, and in innovation. Thus, this Mahotsav is not just a defense event, it is to all of us to rise together in the spirit of self-protection through self-reliance.
Deeper appreciation of the role of Hindustan Shipyard and the role that it plays in safeguarding and advancing our nation's interest, towards SwaRaksha, as you mentioned,
Panelists on the stage, distinguished members, industry, academia, ladies and gentlemen from the press. It is indeed a matter of privilege and honor for me to be standing here today to our national government. The Honorable Raksha Mantri, in his words, encapsulated this paradigm shift, and I quote, "We were once known as a landlocked country with seashores, but now we have a different working environment where the challenges are far more complex than what is being offered on land or in the air. And therefore, my request are engines for growth." They're interesting that 70% of the world's surface is oceans. While the geographies might differ, at the heart of the construct lies India, uniquely positioned by both geography and destiny. In the 21st century, as a successor to the narrower Asia-Pacific narrative which was existing, which excluded the Indian Ocean's significance, our central location and robust maritime geography place it in a position of both opportunity and responsibility. to fully grasp the significance of the current security landscape. And that is my whole aim of this talk today, is to try and explain to you what is it that the Navy does, why do we do it, where do we do it, and how do we do it, so that you get a flavor and an understanding of what exactly is it that we require and that you gentlemen and ladies would need to produce. Now, what essentially defines the Navy's roles? Our deployments refer to the deliberate strategic deployments that go beyond routine patrols or coastal security deployments. Key components of these forays include the presence cum surveillance missions in critical maritime theaters, joint exercises with regional and extra-regional navies, port calls and naval diplomacy, humanitarian assistance and disaster relief missions, and surveillance patrols for maritime domain awareness. Collectively, they safeguard the sea lines of communications, deter adversaries, shape the regional norms, and project India as a preferred security partner. Of historical relevance, this year, 2025, marks the 1,000 years of Rajendra Chola's first overseas naval deployment, which extended our influence deep into Southeast Asia. This legacy has only grown over the years. In fact, as we speak, a unit of the Eastern Fleet, of the Eastern Naval Command, is actually on its way back all the way from Fiji in the Pacific, at Papua New Guinea, calling into Australia and making her way back after having carried out a series of multilateral and bilateral exercises. And that is the reach of the Eastern Naval Command, of which I'm very proud of being a part. I wonder why I'm being reminded of the Cautillian principle, which says that every neighboring state is an enemy, but the enemy's enemy is a friend. It's interesting because in a world of shifting alliances, and the speakers alluded to that, and contested waters, collaborative in safeguarding interests. Coming to the what, having been said, why? Understanding the strategic drivers behind our deployments and what we do. This transition from the Asia-Pacific to the Indo-Pacific has brought us from the periphery to the center of global geopolitics. This region, the Indo-Pacific, is where 60% of the global GDP is generated. 50% of the global trade transits through the critical choke points. And strategic powers like the US, China, Japan, and Australia shape the regional security architecture. This is also the same region where the US vision of a free and open Indo-Pacific contrasts sharply with China's assertive maritime strategy, and the happenings in the South China Sea are fairly well known to this audience. While our neighbors' assertive posture and naval expansion remains the most pressing strategic concern, underscored by its militarization and gray zone tactics and the growing footprint, we are also facing a wider spectrum of both traditional and non-traditional threats, which is again where technology and AI have a very huge role to play. The Strait of Hormuz on our west handles roughly 20% of the global petroleum shipments, making it one of the world's most critical choke points. Iran's periodic confrontations with the Western Navy, especially in light of the tensions with Israel and the American forces, have increased instability in the region, with the potential to threaten global energy security and disrupt our crude import routes. Piracy, especially around the Horn of Africa and the Gulf of Guinea, has seen a resurgence even as the Somali piracy has temporarily declined. Incidents of maritime terrorism, narco-trafficking, imported and unregulated fishing, particularly by distant water fishing fleets, pose constant challenges to maritime governance, especially for nations with vast exclusive economic zones like us. Climate change and maritime security only add to these challenges. And this is not talking about the ongoing conflict between Russia, Ukraine, and the tariff war that has been imposed upon us by the West, and how we are coping and trying to deal with it. Having established the why, the whither, or the key geographies that shape the trajectory of our naval forays is in our immediate and extended maritime neighborhood, where projecting presence in the emerging frontiers. The Malacca Strait, where nearly 40% of the global trade and 80% of China's oil imports pass, is one of the most critical choke points, and that is where our ships are regularly being deployed. We also hold very active multilateral and bilateral exercises with countries like Malabar with the Americans, Japanese, and the Australians, GEMEX with the Japanese, AUSINDEX with the Australians, and RIMPAC, which is one of the largest naval exercises in the world, where I personally have been very fortunate to have taken my ship 6 years back and emerged victorious in that very, very prestigious exercise. We started engagements with Vietnam and the Philippines. We have port calls, capacity building initiatives, reinforcing our commitment to a rules-based maritime order. We also are engaged in countries like Djibouti, where the BRI initiative is trying to cut into our sphere of influence. We are carrying out joint EEZ surveillance and HR drills with Kenya, Tanzania, Mozambique, and Madagascar, and trying to build deeper ties with the UAE and Iran, both key logistical hubs in the Western Indian Ocean. Mr. Sajid, I think, spoke about the 4 A's. I will go to the 3 D's. The 3D approach that the Indian Navy has as to how do we develop a robust and evolving framework, where I need your assistance to come up with solutions that help us empower this, are deter, deploy, and develop. Deter is credible deterrence, which begins with persistence posture. Our mission-based deployments, as I speak, 4 of my own ships are right now deployed in various parts of the Indian Ocean region, carrying out deterrence patrols. We have over 1,000 MBD patrols annually covering choke points in the high traffic zones. We carry out regularly big exercises like the Tropics, which is a theater level, operational level exercise, where the entire Indian Navy and Coast Guard assets join in together to carry out a real-time war game scenario. Multi-domain warfare capabilities, in addition to unmanned systems, which includes underwater drones, autonomous surveillance platforms, and the ISR assets, are regularly being exercised. And this is one niche area where the industry has a very big role in trying to offer us solutions. The second pillar is deploy. Deployment is not just about deterrence, it's also about delivering security where it is needed the most. It is said that a Navy that does not deploy is a Navy that does not deter. The India's sea lines of communications underpin our 3.7 trillion economy. Operational deployments ensure the uninterrupted flow of commerce and energy. In fact, just as a matter of interest, our ships have escorted more than 324 merchant ships over the past 6 months, and a cargo valuing over 5.3 billion, and rescuing more than 400 personnel from strife-off areas in our neighborhood. The third pillar, develop, is perhaps the most strategic of all, and that is about shaping the maritime environment through cooperation, capacity building, and sustained engagement. Initiatives like the Indian Ocean ship Sagar, which has brought together 9 countries who are sailing as part of a crew of an Indian ship, is one such initiative. Our diplomacy is well known amongst our government and amongst the services. We have conducted over 50 port visits in the past 18 months, all the way from Suva to Seychelles, Jakarta to Jeddah, reinforcing our maritime partnerships across Indo-Pacific. We also, as Adit had brought out, in the City of Destiny, are extremely proud that this is the home port for one of the largest exercises in this part of the world, and that is called Milan. And in February 26, Visakhapatnam will be the host of the International Fleet Review, where the Honorable President would be the chief guest, and she will review the might of the Indian Navy. We will have the Milan, where we are expecting more than 75 countries and their navies to participate. And we will have the IONS, which is the Indian Ocean Naval Symposium Conclave of Chiefs, happening concurrently here in this beautiful city of Visakhapatnam, wherein again the members of industry and the startups and the MSMEs would have a great opportunity to interact with the most powerful navies of the world and try and showcase what we bring to the table. From the Bay of Bengal to the icy reaches of the Arctic and Antarctica, the Indian Navy today reflects our emergence as a maritime power with global responsibility. As we look towards India at 2047, our goal is clear: to ensure that the oceans remain secure, open, and inclusive for India and the world. The Navy stands combat-ready, credible, cohesive, and future-ready across surface, subsurface, air, cyber domains. With purpose, professionalism, and presence, we remain committed to protecting our national interests, anytime, anywhere, anyhow. With that, I would like to end my talk, and I wish this very important Mahotsav and this very august gathering of intelligentsia, academia, and the industry the very best of luck in the coming 3 days, where you discuss and come up with innovative solutions that work the best for us. Thank you so much.
3Ds from the front line of naval operations is a timely reminder of the challenges, vigilance, and the readiness that secure our seas and safeguard our nation. We're truly grateful for the insights you've shared and for the inspiration you bring to the City of Destiny. Thank you so much. May now invite our guest of honor, Mr. Coast Guard, to deliver his address. His leadership, ladies and gentlemen, plays a defining role in safeguarding our maritime frontier and national interests. Sir, may I please request you to address the audience?
Seaboard headquarters located here in Visakhapatnam. Yesterday in the evening, I was given this call by Mr. Sanjay, and he briefed me a small informative speech about Indian Coast Guard. Indian Coast Guard was established in 1977, and it came into formal existence by a Parliament Act, Coast Guard Act, which was passed by Indian Parliament in August 1978. So we are here in the service of nations since last 48 years, and we are going to complete our Golden Jubilee in another 2 years. We started with 2 ships seconded by Indian Navy in 1977, and now we are a fleet of 172 ships and 78 aircrafts. By the year 2030, we would be 200 ships and 100 aircrafts. It's a big fleet. It's a big opportunity for industries to notice for 2 reasons. Number one, we are not having any repair infrastructure of our own. We do not have any captive capacity to maintain or to look after our ships. We are open to industry. We are a very big business development option for this industry and for this August gathering. I, as an engineer with around 33 years behind me in this service, I have seen this service grow. I have seen this fleet grow from just 40 ships to 172 ships. When there were 40 ships in Indian Coast Guard, we hardly had any technical infrastructure, and neither we required any, because our ships could be maintained very easily by the defense public sector undertakings like MDL, GSL, GRSC, HSL here, and few private industry partners who were there. And there was an ecosystem existing in those days wherein the foreign equipment manufacturers had their agencies installed in the country, and their representatives would come and do the repair works on board our ships and make the ships operational. The demand of Indian Coast Guard was also not much in those days. We did not insist too much on endurance, range, speed, and we were not very much conscious about various things which were happening in the maritime sector. The military standards were not really applicable to us. Over a period of time, like since 1990 and in the early 2000s, the consciousness, awareness, and the requirements of the service started growing up. We realized that we are a growing force. The threats from the seaward side are increasing. We require ships of modern capabilities. We require ships of higher range, higher caliber, higher capacity, and higher speed, so that the aggressors and the anti-national elements who are coming from the seaward side are not having an edge over us. Now, with this change in the environment, change in the conditions, the shipbuilding of Indian Coast Guard also started improving. And we started giving our specifications which were close to military standards and which were having all elements of international quality standards. With this, the Indian shipbuilding yards had to improvise their capabilities. Indian trade, this situation, now when I stand, after having done too many different kinds of assignments in the Coast Guard and having seen the Indian trade and Indian industry particularly oriented towards maritime industry, I feel that the current thrust of the Government of India on Make in India indigenization is actually going to make us very strong in time to come, provided we rise up to the challenge of the demands of the customer like us and become capable to provide that service up to that standard and up to that scale. In about 5 years ago, we were writing specifications of, still calling it new generation OPVs because the nomenclature and the technology upgradation in the maritime sector is very demanding. In such situation, our focus has to be in tandem with the Indian industry in India, particularly related to maritime sector, has to really work very hard. Now, I give you many examples. In all industries, in all manufacturing industries in any country, the basic components, basic equipment which are used like compressors, pumps, a prime mover, a power generator, maybe a specific requirement like a spinning industry or textile industry or any industry you name it, they will have a specific equipment pertaining to that industry. But the ancillary of that particular equipment will be same. Like there will be pumps, there will be compressor, there will be air reservoir, there will be some kind of power generation. Similarly, in the seagoing industry, like in the ships, we also have the same kind of equipment. And those equipment are very much common and very much commonly manufactured by any industry in India. So I don't think that it is very difficult to participate in any business avenue which is generated in the ships of Indian Coast Guard. When we go for refits or repairs, our dry docking is a very big challenge. It's a very primitive activity, and in the last 20, 30 years, I have seen that the docking of the ship involves the graving shipyard, graving dock, the slipway, the ship lift system. Now, the graving dock and the slipways are very much indigenized. There is nothing imported or there's nothing in it. But the moment it becomes ship lift system, it's a complete hydraulics. And there are 2 or 3 players in the ship lift system which are, it's nothing but hydraulics. It's nothing but servo control valves and servo control mechanism, which I think Indian industries are very capable of manufacturing. But I'm really very sorry to say, not any kind of development in the ship lift technology. There are IC engines which are required on board ship, where the propulsion system require a main engine, and that main engine is of the IC engine industry in Germany, in America, in Canada, or in other developed nations. They are supplying engines to India and to many other countries all over the world, and we have been taking it, and we have in Indian industry can take a foot forward in developing, and that is not a technology, it is basically a metallurgy. You have to make a block, you have to make a good quality cylinder head, you have to make a good quality internal component, and you have to make a good quality crankshaft, which is the heart of the engine. Now, those kind of things can very well be undertaken by the Indian industry with the expertise available, with the technology available. It is only understanding the requirement of the customer and making that particular component so strong, so rugged, so capable that it can develop that kind of power. And once it starts rolling, then sky is the limit. You can develop that technology, develop that particular equipment, sell it to Indian industries, and then become global, because the demand is too much. So, in my opinion, the impetus of indigenization is not simply to become an Indian supplier and only to meet the Indian demands. The demand to become, the thrust on indigenization is basically to become so capable that you become a global supplier. Explore all the markets that are available around the world. Actually, I have not prepared any speech. I have not made any notes on what to say about Indian Coast Guard. However, in the time to come, in the coming 2 days, when there will be interactions, I'm available, I'm open, and I can answer to many questions, many queries about the possibilities of exploring businesses with Indian Coast Guard, and through the subsystems of the country, that we can be beneficial to each other in a conducive manner. And I must thank the organizers of this SwaRaksha. In fact, SwaRaksha is very synonymous to the motto of Indian Coast Guard, that is Vayam Rakshamah. So, jaise we protect, we say that we protect. Same way, SwaRaksha should also be a protector of Indian industry and a very big platform for developing or giving chance or giving opportunity to the industry available here in Visakhapatnam. I congratulate the organizers and I thank them once again. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring address. Your words not only motivate us, but also reinforce the importance of vision, leadership, and innovation in the form of technological infrastructure. Our keynote speaker, Dr. G. Satish Reddy, Honorary Advisor, Aerospace and Defense Manufacturing, Government of Andhra Pradesh, could not join us due to an urgent defense meeting requiring his immediate presence. While we regret missing his contributions, but this is also a reminder of his duties, making sure that we have the dedication as we celebrate SwaRaksha Mahotsav, the dedication towards the service to the nation. We would now like to move forward, and ladies and gentlemen, I deem it a great privilege to invite our chief guest, Shri Shankar Bata Bagachi. With the exemplary leadership in maintaining law and order, public safety, and community engagement, Sir has played a pivotal role in strengthening civic security in the city. We are privileged to have him with us today at SwaRaksha Mahotsav 2025, and we request you, sir, to kindly join us and address the audience. Welcome.
Respected dignitaries on the dais, the organizers of these industrialists, yet I will start my talk with a fable from Aesop's collection of fables, heard in my childhood. There was a field full of ripe crops. A group of birds used to come and feed on those crops. The owner got very angry. And one day, one bird heard the owner telling his sons, "We will call our friends tomorrow to harvest these crops and put a net to catch hold of all these naughty birds. Will not keep a single bird alive." That bird got nervous, came running to the leader of that group of birds, an experienced elderly bird, and told everything that the bird has heard. The leader said, "Don't worry, be happy." Next day, that same bird overheard the owner telling, "We called our friends, they didn't come. Today, we'll call all our relatives, and together, and once they come, will cut down, will harvest the crop and catch all these naughty birds. Again, the bird went running and the leader said, don't worry, be happy. The third day, the bird overheard the owner telling, enough is enough. Neither my friends came, nor my relatives came to help us. Tomorrow, we will ourselves harvest the crop and catch every single bird. Will not keep any of them alive. When the leader heard this, the leader said, now is the time for us to run away. We cannot come to the same field again. Till now, the owner was depending on his relatives, his friends. They all had their own fields to take care of, to harvest the crop. So I knew they will never come. But now that he has decided to take things into his own hands, we have danger ahead. The moral of the story, which remains valid till date, is only when we take our destiny into our own hands, we become formidable, we become triumphant, and the entire world stands in awe and start taking note of us seriously. That is what SwaRaksha is, taking our destiny into our own hands, make everything in India, protect ourselves with our own might. That's the organizers of this SwaRaksha Mahotsav. It is high time we make the dream of our Honorable Prime Minister true in every sense of the term by making the production of every component of our indigenous. The question that comes next is, India is not fighting any war as of now. What is the importance of holding this conference now? The answer lies in one statement. If we don't sweat in peace, we bleed in war. So, now that there is peace, apparent peace along our borders, let us sweat and make ourselves capable so that we can give our enemies a fitting reply, a befitting reply whenever we are forced to fight another war. We all know that war is fought on the land, on the seas, but we must never lose sight of the fact that today's war is also fought on space. In the wars that we are going to fight tomorrow and the day after, our invisible enemies, they will try to hit our economy by targeting important components of our economic infrastructure. They will spread confusion, bring down our morale, and devise hundreds of other ways so that we lose to happen. We have to emerge victorious, not only on land, sea, air, but also in cyberspace. And there lies the importance of cybersecurity. I felt that the esteemed aspects of defense, but an equally important aspect is the cybersecurity industry, how crucial it is. We store very crucial data in the cloud. Very often, our crucial data is held abroad, and there is a real possibility that when we fight our next war, those people will deny access to that crucial data because it is in their hands. Therefore, it is equally important that every sensitive data, crucial data, we store it in India itself. Don't let any of our crucial data go out of our country. That capability also needs to be built as fast as possible. We face, as on today, diverse threats in the cyberspace, like data breaches, ransomware attacks, phishing scams, cyber espionage. These threats not only jeopardize the security and privacy of individuals and organizations, but also pose significant risk to the national security and economic stability of a country. If we look at the cybersecurity industry of India, it is already witnessing substantial growth driven by increasing awareness of cyber threats and regulatory requirements for data protection. The projected market size of $3.5 billion by 2027 signifies the expanding opportunities in this sector. This growth is expected to fuel demand for cybersecurity professionals, adept at threat detection, incident response, risk assessment, and compliance management. Such professionals include cybersecurity analysts, ethical hackers, penetration testers, security engineers, incident responders, security architects, security consultants, and cryptographers. Moreover, India's prominence in the global IT outsourcing market accentuates the need for robust cybersecurity measures to safeguard sensitive data and maintain trust among international clients. Indian companies are technologically advanced, and they use the latest tools and techniques for the protection of their assets. Indian businesses, especially in the fintech sector, are fully compliant with the international frameworks and certifications applicable to this sector, including NIST, GDPR, PCI DSS, ISO 27001, and others. But mostly these tools are developed overseas and are expensive. It is therefore essential for India to innovate and conduct research and development domestically to create affordable, effective, homegrown solutions for the threats it faces. India has the talent, a large and steady pool of high-quality IT and cybersecurity professionals. But to improve the cybersecurity posture of the position of the nation and its assets, a whole-of-nation approach must be followed. This requires a comprehensive national risk assessment in line with the criticality of Indian assets and capabilities of the adversaries. It must be done by engaging stakeholders and creating a trusted information sharing mechanism. A clear governance structure for organizations mandated with cybersecurity and cyber crisis management with a proper mandate clarifying roles and responsibilities of different bodies should be established to take stock of existing policies, practices, and capabilities. Stakeholders, including different states and central government departments, law enforcement agencies, and even corporates, should be engaged through a wider consultation and security benchmarks and test them by organizing regular security drills, thereby augmenting incident response capabilities. India must be a part of international cooperation efforts, infrastructure, fostering collaboration between government, industry, and academia, and promoting cybersecurity training in India, and research and development in cybersecurity are crucial steps. Threat of cyber warfare. Industry, academia, technology, all experts should come forward to take part in this mission. Only then we can ensure SwaRaksha in cyberspace. On this auspicious occasion of Navaratri, I pray to Goddess Durga to bless our country and ensure that India marches ahead and truly become the greatest country in the world in the days to come. Wishing all of you happy Navaratri. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your enlightening address and for acknowledging the efforts of SwaRaksha. Your appreciation really encourages the team to continue with commitment. Your insights on policing, public safety, and community engagement offer valuable perspective for all of us working to advance innovation, collaboration, and national security. We deeply appreciate your time and guidance here at SwaRaksha Mahotsav 2025. Thank you so much, sir. And ladies and gentlemen, I would like to acknowledge the presence of and wholeheartedly welcome and invite to stage our special guest, Mr. M. Shri Bharat, Member of Parliament, Visakhapatnam. Yes, sir, we would love to hear too.
Sorry, I'm late to all the distinguished guests on the dais, including our police commissioner and all the guests who've come from out of town. Welcome to Visakhapatnam. This mic is a little bit on the shorter side for me, but I hope you can all hear me. So I was told by Aditya that members on the stage have spoken about defense and Navy and aerospace, and I should speak about Andhra and what we're trying to do. I don't know how many of you know our aerospace advisor is Dr. Somnath, who was heading ISRO, and our defense advisor is Dr. Satish Reddy, who was heading DRDO and is also advisor to the Raksha Mantri today. And these are not nominal positions where they're getting some title or some benefits. They're very actively partnering with the state on how we can bring in investments. I think as a target in this term, we've said we want to bring about 1 lakh crores of investment into the aerospace and defense ecosystem. And there are many things that are being mooted. I'm not the subject area expert, but they want to do a naval cluster, they want to do unmanned and drone vehicles, and then ammunition and attack things. I think the first thing that we've started with is a progressive policy, which I encourage all of you to go and read, the Aerospace 4.0 policy. And we're inviting both public and private sector stakeholders to come and work with us, to invest with us. Our advantages are, one, we already have launching station in Sriharikota. Recently, Minister in the PMO, Dr. Jitendra Singh, was here for National E-Governance Summit. And he was saying that they're expanding the launch stations in Sriharikota, adding 2 more with much larger capacity. So that's on one side. The other side, a friend of mine, he's runs a private aerospace company called Skyroot. And he's building, his new payload is in a 7-story high rocket. So if all goes well, he'll be future Elon Musk of India. And he was given around 300 acres of land close to Tirupati. And even after the allotment, he had come here for some other event, and he happened to meet the Chief Minister and Mr. Lokesh, and he had said that the land price at which it was allocated was slightly higher than his budget was permitting. So he requested for some consideration. In that meeting again, he has gotten a reduction, almost 30 crores of reduction in land procurement. So that one visit saved him and his company. So I said he should invest with that much more vigor, with the faith that the state is putting. So we're not discriminating private or public. We're saying that those who are at the cutting edge of their area of work, and they're able to demonstrate it through some actions or with the kind of people that they are working with, I think we will repose faith back in you. And we will also move quickly, because as a state, it's not just about having intentions, how do you deliver. So there are challenges. We work in a government where there are many moving parts, so things don't happen overnight. But I have been talking to some first-gen entrepreneurs who are engaging with the state, and they're saying that the responsiveness of the senior stakeholders and the decision making is really encouraging them. If we go beyond defense and aerospace, in 15 months of our government, we have gotten investment proposals cleared by the cabinet of about 10.5 lakh crores. I don't think it has ever happened in our history as a state. So there is what cabinet approval means, that land has been identified, investment size has been approved, and everything, whatever incentives have to be given have been agreed to by the government. And we're also trying to reduce that individual case-by-case negotiation. That's why we are introducing policies, so that things are transparent for even the MSMEs, because not everyone is a big player that will have access to Chief Minister that easily, right? But we want because in defense we understand there's some very small components also that need to be made, and they may be coming under the MSME category, but they should have a very transparent way of engaging with the state. And it is with that intent that these policies are being designed. And I mean, my parliament may not get too much of investment because we're largely urban, but we will be consumers of the products that you create, right? We have our police commissioner on the stage, and he's been asking us for drones to do effective policing in many of our areas. So if all of you come and do well here, we'll take your CSR money and buy these drones for our city, because we want to really transform the way we govern ourselves. Even cyber security, for example, we're working, police commissioner and I and a group of our senior officials are working on creating a integrated smart traffic crime AI solution for the city, where it will monitor traffic throughput, on speeding violation, on wrong turns, red light violations, also facial recognition, even those who are wearing a mask, those who have aged 30 years, and those who we cannot even see it. The AI is now able to recognize your gait, how you're able to walk. So crime is also becoming very different. And like earlier in the Navy, if you had a torpedo or you had a lot of torpedoes, you could defend yourself from enemies. But now there are unmanned water drones which will just go and deliver the payload onto the ship, and it will make your entire naval infrastructure defunct. So technology is changing rapidly. I think there are some senior officials here on the stage who already see these things happening much better than I do. Only thing that we know as public representatives is that we need to encourage the best of talent, particularly within India, because when we're seeing the global dynamics shifting, our ability to rely on external providers of equipment, of software, is going to increasingly diminish if things go in this trajectory, which is not good. I hope it doesn't continue like this. But we cannot wait. We cannot do things just on hope. So there is a call by our Prime Minister Modi ji to focus on Swadeshi. I mean, recently when he spoke about the GST reforms also, he brought up that topic. So this is a great platform. For those of you who are scientists and who are builders, we welcome you to engage with the state. And we hope to work deeply with all of you. Pursue excellence, even if it is small. And I think you will go places. Because that's something that our Chief Minister also says, that Indian products are serving Indian customers to some extent well, but they need to serve global customers. And that kind of product obsession has to come in our founders, our scientists. I think our space and defense organizations have demonstrated that. We are able to take up missions at a fraction of the cost that international agencies are taking up. But that has to come in many other domains also. So we look forward to do that. I think with these few words, I thank the organizers for having me here. And I wish you all the best. And I look forward to seeing many of you engage with the state in a more deeper manner. Thank you.
Thank you, Sri Bharat Sir, for the eloquent address and for inspiring the audience with real-time cases of individuals, organizations, MSMEs, and the government towards the progress of the state of Andhra Pradesh. Thank you, sir. We applaud and honor your presence. Thank you so much for joining us. May now invite Mr. Sanjay Singh to please join us on stage and propose the vote of thanks. Let's welcome Mr. Sanjay with a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so very much. Jai Hind, very good afternoon now. At the outset, I would like to thank you, our Honorable Raksha Mantri ji, who gave me this word, SwaRaksha. So, long back when I met with Raksha Mantri, we discussed about to create a kind of program which really talk about the celebration of this self-reliance. Then SwaRaksha came in mind, and this was the one word he gave me, SwaRaksha, and nearly everyone has appreciated the word used, SwaRaksha. So thank you so very much, Honorable Raksha Mantri ji. Now, as a founder and Director General of Trade Promotion Council for Geospatial and Space Industry, it is my privilege and honor to stand in front of the august gathering, the dignitaries. I would like to thank you, Sri Bharat ji, who gave us some time. I can understand that due to his busy schedule, he is not able to join every event, but we are fortunate that we had with him in our program. Thank you so very much, Bharat ji. Our chief guest, Sri Bagchi ji, the Commissioner of Police, and I was very inspired to hear the story that he just narrated here, which gave us an idea that it's not just a story, it is the whole ball game that we need to understand. So taking the moral of that story, we should all start working. And as Bharat ji has already mentioned that government of Andhra Pradesh is walking into this segment where every single support, so before launching this program in Andhra Pradesh, we connected to Secretary Industry, and then APIIs and multiple other stakeholders into the government, where I was very keen to know that how government of Andhra Pradesh is working to become the hub within the aerospace and defense, geospatial space, marine, as well as into the unmanned system. And I think all of you might be knowing that the Kurnool has been announced here in Andhra Pradesh as the drone city. Aerospace and defense hub, I'm pretty much sure that the Vizag, Amravati is going to be very soon, and multiple organization has also connected to government of Andhra Pradesh. I would like to thank you, Rear Admiral Shantanu Jhaji, who came into our program, gave the insights, and seriously, we today came to know that Navy is the leading the organization within the country, which made us proud that we are the third largest navy in the world. Thank you so very much, Rear Admiral Santoji. I would like to thank you, Manish Vermaji, DIG, Indian Coastal Guard. As he mentioned that I briefed him. Yes, I briefed him about the program because he was not at all aware about the program. But whatever I briefed, I'm shocked that I gave the brief of 2 minutes, but he spoke around 15 minutes. So thank you so very much for being with us, sir. Thank you so very much. I would like to thank you all our sponsor, Sri Sajid Mukhtarji, the Chairman and Managing Director, Rotor Group of Industries, to support SwaRaksha Mahotsav 2025. I would like to thank you, our strategic sponsor, HD Link Space Labs Private Limited, the CEO, Rupesh Gandupalli ji. I think I can proudly say that Rupesh ji is the person, belongs to Vizag. And this is the first time in the history which I can proudly claim that our sponsor, HD Link, is the company which has designed the Make in India satellite in US and manufactured in India. However, it normally happens that nowadays what we have seen here in the market, that every startup, what they're doing, that they are designing or working everything here and they're getting the patented the product there in US and multiple other countries. But it is the other thing which we came to know, that it was designed in US and patented in India. Thank you so very much for being with us, sir. And a special thanks to Hindustan Shipyard Limited, Commodore Singh, who came to our program. He took a lot of time, I would say, to come into the program from his busy schedule, though I met with sir and I was quite happy to know that HSL is doing the wonderful job and made us feel proud. Thank you so very much, Commodore Singh, for being with us. And with all these thoughts, I would like to thank you, every single person in the audience, my friends, ladies and gentlemen, for being with us, for SwaRaksha Mahotsav, making it a grand success. Thank you so very much for your presence. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sanjay, for the enlightening address and also enlightening us about the essence of SwaRaksha Mahotsav 2025. And also thank you for the words of gratitude. Indeed, gratitude is the best attitude. Requesting all the dignitaries on stage to please be with us for a few more minutes, as we are now at a very special part of today's event, the recognition of excellence in aerospace, defense, space, and geospatial innovation. These recognitions, ladies and gentlemen, celebrate the very spirit of SwaRaksha Mahotsav, bold, collaborative innovation that strengthen our strategic capabilities. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we honor risk takers, builders, and partners whose work accelerates the self-resilience and secures our future. I would kindly request and invite our chief guest, Shri Shankar Prata IPS, and Shri Bharat sir, along with all the dignitaries on the dais, to please do the honors. May I also invite Mr. Sanjay Singh and Mr. Aditya Sabharwal to join us on stage to do the honors. So to begin with, let's celebrate. Sir, please join us on stage. To begin with, let's celebrate the outstanding indigenous manufacturing, a pillar of our Atmanirbhar vision, and the outstanding indigenous manufacturing award goes to Mr. Sajid Mukhtar, CMD, Rotor Group of Companies. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause as we appreciate his contribution. Breakthrough work that expands our reach into space and the excellence in space technology. Let us present this award to Mr. Rupesh Gandupalli. The best startup in artificial intelligence award goes to Dr. Raghava Kotapalli, CEO, BDSR Solutions, LLP. A thunderous round of applause, ladies and defense. And in this category, we would like to honor the grit and the outstanding women achievers in aerospace. An energetic round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. goes to Mr. Rupesh Gandupalli, CEO, XD Links Space Labs Private Limited. A thunderous round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give it up for Dr. Nagendru, ladies and gentlemen. Indigenous manufacturing goes to Mr. Raghav Tripathi, Mantra Softtech Private Limited. Let's celebrate the success with a hearty round of applause. And coastal interest, the Excellence in Maritime Safety and Security Award is presented to Sri Ashok Badaraju, CMD, ACS Technology. Let's welcome him with an energetic round of applause. Sri Ashok Badaraju ji. And that concludes the heartfelt congratulations to all our achievers. Your work shapes the future of defense, space, and geospatial innovation. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, let us once again express our heartfelt gratitude to all our esteemed speakers for sharing their wisdom and inspiring us today. To do the honors and to present the memento, may I all of us, and I'll just take the names also. I request Shri Shankar Brata Bhakchi sir to please step forward and kindly accept the token of appreciation. May we now invite Mr. Manish Verma to accept. It is our honor to have Rear Admiral Shantanu Jha to join us. Please accept our gratitude, sir. Please step up and receive this token of appreciation. Inviting and requesting Shri Sajid ji to please come. Requesting Shri Rupesh sir to kindly join us and accept. Requesting Dr. Raghava Rao to kindly come forward and accept the token of appreciation. As we felicitate him with our token of appreciation. And receive the token of appreciation.
All the awardees, may we request to come forward. We can have a group photograph. How should we do? All the awardees, I request please come forward to have a group photograph.
Requesting the awardees to step forward and join the group photograph as we celebrate your contribution. May now invite all our esteemed dignitaries to join us for the exhibition walkthrough. This would be our opportunity and a chance to experience the latest innovation, engage with pioneering technologies, and connect with brilliant minds shaping aerospace, defense, geospatial space, and marine domains. We hope this walkthrough sparks inspiration, encourages collaboration, and motivates ideas for the future. Ladies and gentlemen, requesting the audience to please join us back soon, as we will soon begin with the plenary session 1.
The standard policy is there for everyone. If anyone is doing an extra large investment, they can again discuss directly. Like if someone's doing over 500 crore investment, over 1,000 crore investment, then they can speak to the government separately. But typically under 1,000, under 500,
to the first plenary session of the day, a session that sets the tone for innovation, collaboration, and strategic foresight at SwaRaksha Mahotsav 2025. This session, titled Brave Bharat, Secure Bharat, Building a Multi-Domain National Security Ecosystem, focuses on envisioning a unified, tech-driven national security framework across land, sea, air, space, and cyber domains. We will explore how India can strengthen resilience through indigenous innovation, joint operations, and multi-sector collaboration, truly embracing the spirit of a brave and secure Bharat. It is our privilege to have with us two renowned leaders whose experience and expertise will guide our understanding of a multi-domain national security ecosystem. First of all, may I have the pleasure of inviting Commander Prasad, YVV, Indian Navy Senior Veteran, Principal Strategic Defense Advisor, Expert Strategic Professional Consultant, Founder and MD, Prasad Consulting India Private Limited, to please join us on stage. Mr. Prasad, would you like to take the stage, or?
I'll speak from here.
Sure.
Once you
Sure,
come.
yes. So let's welcome Mr. Prasad with a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. A little more energy, because the post-lunch sessions are always difficult and speakers do require energy from our end. Let's hear it loud for Mr. Prasad, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
This forward, brother. This is backward. Okay, fine. Laser is there in this? No laser. Okay, fine. Good afternoon, friends. Just to take a stock, in fact, to take stock rather, it's useful for me because this session is going to be quite interactive. How many of you are from non-defense, not defense? When I say defense, Army, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard, fine. And if, of course, you have worked in paramilitary forces, BSF, ITBP, SSB, Assam Rifles, these are all the paramilitary forces, auxiliary forces. But other than this, purely from civilian establishments, civilian industry, and how many of you are there? Okay, because the terms which I am going to use, I wanted to know how much I should introduce and how much I should explain. Only for that reason, I just wanted to know this, nothing else. Firstly, let me thank you, because you are going to have a bit long session. And the subject is multi-domain security and strategic readiness. Are we ready? That's the question. Many are assuming that we are ready. And to me, we are not ready. We need to be ready. We say that we are a nation of sovereignty. What does that mean? It means that we have the supreme authority. Sovereignty means that we exercise the supreme authority. That's the meaning. Do we exercise the supreme authority internationally with reference to our defense systems and equipment, our defense preparedness? Yes will be the answer from many. Yes, we are. But there are miles to go before we sleep. There are miles to go before we sleep. We have got lots of things to do. We are not really ready. If there is a threat, if there is a target, we need to capture. That is, we need to go about detecting it. And after that, we need to track it. And once it comes in one is defensive combat potential. That is, you defend yourself. And the second is offensive combat potential. For both, we need to be ready. Either to defend yourself, direct energy weapons, or you want to use your jammers, or you want to use your gun shells, or you want to use your missiles, particularly surface-to-air missiles, air-to-air missiles, then you should be prepared for it, for which you should be in a position to detect the target. Stealth is against us. So stealth is a matter of concern. It's a matter of concern because even as on to date, we do not have such kind of systems. I'm making bold statements. This is my profession, please agree. If there is anyone who wants to debate, my cards are available, and I'm available, and I'm a defense columnist, so people can certainly have an interaction with me. I'm making a statement that we are still in development stage for many of them. We do not have quite a few systems which have, you are invisible, you are actually hidden. Next is hypersonics. Hypersonics means the speed. You are at a phenomenal speed. We are talking, there are countries who are our adversaries, I use the word, and who are very nearby, in fact. And they have Mach 7, Mach 8. Do we have system? Mach 7, Mach 5 plus. Anything Mach 5 plus is called hypersonic. What is sonic? It is basically, for those who are not aware, we are talking about the speed of the sound. Speed of the sound, 1 Mach. And after that, if you are below that, it is called subsonic, it is sonic, or supersonic, and I am talking about hypersonic. Anything hypersonic is only when it is above 5 Mach plus. Now stealth, as I am standing now, the stealth is decided by the RCS, that is the radar cross section. The radar cross section for a person like me who is standing now is 1 square meter. And if is a cross, the factors which I am going to explain today is invisibility and speed are the weapons of tomorrow. So how are you going to overcome that detection? There are 3 components in that. One is to overcome that detection. There are 3 components in that. One is an ESM, electronic support measures, and the other one is ECM, electronic countermeasures, and noise jammers and deception jammers. Noise jammers we can't use in the modern world. You are out shouting, you are using high RF to block them, you are giving away your place, you are giving away your position. So it's going to be advanced deception jamming using advanced characteristics. And that's where AI comes in. I will come back to you on this. So ECCM is survivability. Know that he is going to jam us, then how do we survive? So for that anti-jamming facilities, the various conventional themes are there, but we are going to go with the new themes, which I am going to explain. So I am going to give you one radar domain, one electronic warfare systems domain. This multi-domain combat against this kind of targets which are of stealth nature and which are hypersonics. So that is the subject. So strategic readiness is for us to get ready to fight against the stealth and hypersonics. Multi-domain radar and electronic warfare systems, their fusion, their synthesis, and that is the subject. So with this, I'll proceed now. And then identify strategic imperatives for Bharat. What Bharat must do? Should we continue to do what we have been doing? Then we will continue to get the results we have been getting, and they are not good enough. So therefore, we should just take stock, actually stop what we are doing in some form, think straight, do something radically different in order that we will be able to protect ourselves, protect the sovereignty of our nation against the targets of tomorrow. We do. What are the imperative different radars? For foliage penetration, wall penetration, there are different radars. Each radar is coming out with some kind of purpose. For air defense, there are some radars. And you mean to say that we have one that we are going to synthesize and mix and means basically the radar and EW and make a unified kill chain and give it to a kind of a platform. What is that platform? One scenario, warfare scenario, we use something called C4I, but actually it is now C6 I3 star. I will explain what is 6.3. I will be grateful if you can. These are C6. And if you say I3, information, intelligence, and interoperability. Information means whatever you get, the raw data. Intelligence means what is action. Interoperability means if you have got 4 or 5 systems in a particular system of systems and platform, all must work amenably, amicably, in harmony, particularly one complementing the other, one surveillance, tracking, and reconnaissance. Reconnaissance is recce. Recce is find out, surveillance is basically continuous vigilance, and the tracking. So this is the architecture which is important for any platform to engage the targets. C6, I3, star. So what is the way it comes? You have the sensors, And from sensors, we are going to take the data. We are going to ensure that the data is complete for us. AI in the future for that. And then we get to a unified kill chain. Unified kill chain means, unified means synthesis, fusion. We are going to have the fusion of all this, arrive at some kind of an actionable data. Then we give it to a platform, which is called a C4I platform. I use the word only C4I here, but it could be C6I, I3. So C4I means basically, come on, ensure that we don't give away our presence. We use the deception techniques. If we are going to be offensive, then we are going to engage with missiles, and we are going to engage with gun mountings, that is close-in weapon systems. This is the complete structure. Now we'll proceed. See, I'm setting the stage for me to go a little faster, because if I fail to define these things, then this entire lecture will be an exercise in futility. You will not understand. So thereafter that there will only be doubts, and after that you will not be convinced that there is some kind of a substance in the entire presentation. So I am trying to define these terms to you so that you are comfortable and familiar. Now let me proceed this. The stealth challenge, I mentioned to you today, we have got the targets of the size of a marble, size of a golf ball. We are talking about 0.0001, minus 40 dB, 0.0001 square meter. What is it? So it's going to be very dangerous. And they are, again, they're very fast, hypersonic. And so this is stealth. So it exploits the clutter and detection gaps, particularly surprise. That is the hacker. You are not aware. So therefore, you are not prepared. And moreover, you are not able to capture it. You will be in a position to have your reaction time, provided you are in a position to capture it. You are not able to capture it. So there is no reaction window at all. So, and you are denied with any kind of a fire controlling solution. Hypersonic, again, the same aspect of it. You have got speed, maneuverability. The maneuverability of it with the serpentine routes and the way it goes, the way it has the gliding paths, you will not be able to really handle it, capture it. So plasma sheath, it basically distorts, plasma sheath distorts your radar tracking. By the way, these days, all the aircrafts, all the missiles, in fact, they're all coated with the radar absorbent material coatings. They are polymer coatings, ferrite coatings, basically, various composites, ferrite composites, various polymers, various kinds of materials are available today. Material science is so advanced, basically, the entire radar detection becomes very impossible today. So not only RAM, and we feel that the target aircraft has got no edges, sharp edges, no 90-degree bends, no edges at all. It's all absolutely edge aligned. And there are no balance. Basically, we are talking about all the same way of taking 10 years, 12 years for a project, and we continue to do. And we don't allow the people who are competent or who are intellectuals coming out of the college to effects. We should think new. We require new governance, new military governance in aspects of equipment induction policies. And we can't be certainly doing what we have been doing. This verse tomorrow and day after I am going to explain this. So we have got serious problems. So can we do the same things which we have been doing? So the answers must be different from the decision makers and the strategists making the decisions of the equipment induction. They have been calling about the level playing field, and we have to ensure that it is not just level playing field alone. It is a uniform field. That's what we want. For all those who are competent, they must be able to protect, because everyone has stakes in protecting the country, not just only one segment of the people. So that is the things which matter to Bharat. So the topic is radar EW synergy. I quickly proceed now. Radars means basically detection and tracking. You are aware of it. So passive detection, deception, survivability. Fusion means we will have a kind of an adaptive sensing and adaptive capturing, adaptive processing, and that's going to be the fusion. Philosophy is system of systems. You have some competence, she has some competence, the other person has some competence. Individually, you cannot do anything, but combined in a matter of synthesis, you are in a position to progress and do the meaningful. Same thing goes with systems also. No single system will be able to find solutions for all problems. Not one can win against everything. So therefore, there is a need for us to have multiple radars, and those multiple radars must be synthesized. That is the one. Next, we'll proceed to system of radars. You know that, first of all, there is an old concept is in early warner is there. When an aircraft takes off from Karachi, that we know that we are in a position to detect it 256 nautical miles away. And after that, when it comes into the tracking range, we are able to track it. Once it comes into the tracking, then we are able to pass the designation of a target designation to a kind of computing platform. What is into a kind of computing platform? What is the target designation? I just want to share with you. When any target is there in the space, we got range and azimuth and elevation, which we talk about. These three-dimensional coordinates are given to a kind of a computing system, and that will actually transfer them into parameters. What is the What is the course of the target, and what is the speed of the target? Course and speed. That is computed from time to time, and there is a fire control computer. And from there, so we have been doing. So, but here, we cannot do all those things. That kind of reaction time is not there. This early warning is meaningless today in this kind of battle call. Where is the question of early warning? Because you have not been able to capture it by the radars. If there is a sea skimming missile, which is going on over the sea at a very low height, and it goes up with the wave, down with the wave, it is sea skimming, you can't capture it on radars. Where is the question? So therefore, there are threats of that kind of nature which are very serious. So therefore, we need to have system of radars. And this is a simple diagram. There is an early warner, tracker, target designation. We give it to the AI. AI is artificial intelligence that becomes the solution. Why AI? What you can do for perhaps 30 days, AI is able to do in 10 minutes today. You know it? So that's how we need to have, whether it is patternization, or whether it is pattern recognition, or cognition, or understanding, analysis, synthesis. For all these things, we require AI. So if I develop anything more than this, it will become a very big lecture. So I'll confine myself to explain to you that we are using AI for the system of radars. So there are different radars. You know that there is an X-band radar, L-band radar, C-band, and after that, you've got over-the-horizon radars, foliage penetration radars. We take all the kind of radars which can actually see the target through the clutter, through the fog, through the clouds, and at the same time, we are in a position to capture it depending upon the distance and the various actually parameters which explain about the radar, coherent, incoherent, different kinds of things. So we take all kind of radars, system of radars, and we use AI with it, and then we have the actual picture. Next, radar narrative. Okay, this I'll skip. System of EW suits. ESM, I mentioned to you already what it is. ESM is, ECM is, ECCM is. One is, ESM is to capture and detect. ECM is actually to engage jamming, particularly jamming. Advanced jamming is deception jamming we are doing. And ECCM, and that is resilience and survivability, which we are talking about. So here is a system of systems again. We are taking ESM, ECM, and ECCM, and but ECCM we are trying to use low probability intercept, various waveforms, and basically cognitive ECCM. There are many techniques today, and we are trying to do all this, and we are going to have AI-aided EW fusion. So now, radars, we have AI-aided fusion. EW, we have AI-aided fusion. We'll proceed next. By the way, let me explain. Some of the ESM is about something called range advantage factor. Range advantage factor is, in the case of radar, you send the RF energy, it goes and strikes the target, and it comes back in its diminutive form. You receive it, and you compute the time, you know where it is. That means it's two-way. In the case of ESM, you are a passive listener. You are able to capture the RF emissions of the target, and you are able to listen. It's one way, not two ways. So you are supposed to have an advantage range advantage if you are using an EW, that is ESM, rather than the radar. But that's not the case. We have some ESMs today which are obsolete in their operational sensitivity bands. We have got some radars today they have got very, very high operational sensitive radar receivers. So we are not actually gaining that range advantage. We need to have a kind of an AI fusion because there is the limit to the technology. Now we have to see how much we can progress. So this is about EW narrative. And now fusion core. So now we have got the fusion picture of radars. We have got the fusion picture of the EW. We are going to synthesize both. And we are going to have radar and EW fusion. Again, AI enters into the scene. And this is what it is. This is system of radars, the system of EW suits, and we give both to a unified kill chain, which is going to have AI characterization. And with that AI characterization, we are going to find what was information. We will get all that incomplete story will be out. We will come to a definitive scenario. We'll come to an actionable path, and that we are going to feed to a C4I platform. So we will detect now carefully, irrespective of where it is, how close it is, how invisible it is, how fast it is, but we are going to detect with this kind of system of systems and this fusion, and with the AI characterization, we are going to detect it, and then we are going to have it to the C4I. And so we will detect, we will track, we will jam, we will engage, we will neutralize. This is what is a unified kill chain with a C4I platform. This is the final, the kind of thing. Now, there are many ways how do you do fusion. When I say system of radars somewhere, same way EW suits, they have to be distributed, dispersed somewhere. That means in one place there is one radar, in another place there is one radar. Do the fusion, you have got the methods of doing it. We have got nodal computing, we have got cloud computing, we have got platform integration. There are many principles. I am going to explain one by one, just by one diagram. C4I platform integration I mentioned to you. Technological frontier. I mentioned to you, we have to have a method of working on the various architectures to have dispersed and distributed radars, dispersed and distributed EW systems, and having a method of fusion. How do you do the fusion core, and how do we synthesize? Because they all can be in different places. One is like this, nodal fusion. It is very important that different kinds of positions, different kinds of platforms, we ensure that the data is dispersed into various things, and then we do the nodal fusion. That is one option one. Resilience is very important thing in this, and this is the way it is, nodal fusion. That means we have got one node, another node, and that's something you are doing in your house, his house, and their house. So each is one node, and you are trying to ensure everything is synthesized and passed on to one place for centric fusion. That is, everything is uploaded to the cloud, and you are in a position to ensure the data is derived. This is very often followed in the IT sector. So cloud basically with the cloud fusion core. And the next one is platform-centric fusion. Platform-centric fusion means you have one platform here, and we call it as AVAX, or a big ship. And in this platform, you lost the battle. So you can't put everything in one place. And if you have got a nodal, then resilience is there, but you will have a graceful reduction, basically degradation if you have nodal. But that has got some kind of advantages. But it will not be complete. It will not be quick in times of doing. Cloud has got very susceptible, very, very susceptible for cyber intrusion and cyber attacks, the clouds. So therefore, you can't go for one technique. You have to take the position, I am the buyer. Sorry, I got a book, and I'll go by this book, and I'll only procure in this way. And there is one MOD for me, and if I do anything independently, but you see, no defense officer or nobody else can make even a single mistake and get away. It is not possible. If you are an official in the government, you can't get away. You want to get away, you have to be a very high seasoned politician. Worried about it. Stakes are there. There were cases. So people are worried now. Each time there is a new case, we included some 4 or 5 papers more into the book. Today we have a very big book. So it is that system and do it. Can we do all that today in this kind of environment? So it is not possible. So the force, that means Army, Navy, Air Force, or Coast Guard, they cannot take a position it to me. No. You have the stakes. You are fighting. So therefore, you jolly well integrate with this entire country. You see where the expertise is. That F2C is only for that particular reason. Force to company. That is what is F2C. It is not that there is only one Bell or one HAL or one, and such things cannot work. We have to have multi-tiered feedback loop. We have to have a co-creation. I use the word co-creative model is required, F2C. These are the strategic imperatives for the Bharat. Sorry to say, you do not know the risk of buying an import software is horrible. You don't know whether it is going to work at the time of the battle or not. You don't know how your cloud architecture is going to be at the time of battle. It is not. US DoD will never allow you, actually, if you take Windows, we have to have our own OS. Actually, we have to have OS independent kind of mission platforms. That is the way we have to progress. And we are not in that lead, and they will add to this particular thing. How they add, I'll finish it with my last sentence. So this is strategic imperatives are there. So sovereignty, institutional programs with joint DRDO, joint Navy, joint Army DRDO, joint Navy DRDO, like that. Even the Navy has to do with the private sector. There is no option, according to me. And dual imperatives, defensive, offensive, partnerships, indigenous radar, EW solutions for survivability, and export potential we need to have. I want to tell you, if you are serious, he says it's very good, very good. You see, both of them are very happy about it. Some guest like me goes and says, I'm sorry, there's something seriously wrong with your diet making. Then there will be a problem. So the quality is to handle the stealth and hypersonics. And so the answers are radar and EW fusion. We have not done it. We have to do it. Youngsters are there. They have to come forward. It is a very, very serious aphorism. So we have to get into that kind of an understanding. So a call for resilience, innovation, and Atmanirbhar strength. Thank you, friends. If there are any questions, please talk to me. I am available. I'll give you 5-10 minutes, if you don't mind. Some questions, please. Innovator to maker, correct. Somebody mic, please. Mic. Everybody should listen to the question. Give the mic, please. Friends, if you are not able to ask for any reason, you can reach me. My cards are here. Take it. Please kindly write to me. My profession is radar, EW. I was in joint EW boats, and I spent a long time in indigenously contributing to the design, development, and installations and making of the EW systems. Radars, I think I am known in the nation for the radars. Yeah, you please kindly ask the question. So you can reach me. You are not ready. No, you tell me, I will tell the question to them. Okay, you explain to me the question.
Hello. My question is that when we from innovator to
okay,
and on the other hand we see country India, which has further been divided into states, and
please go back to my plan.
And when we state-wise communicate with the state government, we find that every state government is in the race to have the organization to set up into their state only, just to enhance the not focusing over manufacturing. It is just they are focusing over the increasing the economy. How do you see this thing? How do you see this thing? Whether there should be any mandate by the central government that states whosoever are focusing over bringing the companies set up into their state, rather asking them to set up to the state wherever they are setting it up. Every single state should extend the support so that they may be capable into manufacturing what is required.
Oh, this is the slide. See, very valid question. What he asked is, each state is trying to optimize in their own way, but the defense belongs to the subject of the center, that is the union government. And the union government has actually left it in its own way, and they have got big books to go by. They have got committees. And there is some kind of, disjointed, totally disjointed and disconnected kind of method. And there is some kind of improportionate and inappropriate kind of model. Yes. For setting up any facilities, you will need land, and land is available with the state, not with the center. So if anybody wants to put up an industry or any kind of a site, they have to actually negotiate with the state government. And similarly,
sorry to interrupt you, sir. Sorry to interrupt you. I just wanted to add into it, like you were saying that the government, every single state government has their own their policies in place.
Yes.
Whereas the services are, schemes are there,
land
is there, land is also there. But so, though I am in Delhi, but I want to do business in Mumbai, then Maharashtra says until you come to my state, I will not support you.
No, that's the problem.
But as an organization, my product, which I am working on, is useful for the entire country.
No, you have a point. What I am trying to say is the existing model needs to be reviewed. Very simple. There has to be a greater sense of coordination and affiliation between the bodies of the center and the bodies of the state. And so, therefore, they have to have a finite mechanism, and that particular mechanism must work in an integrated way. What we have been doing, we can't continue to do in the same method. Sorry. So, therefore, there has to, Atmanirbharata now becomes an equation of an integrated model, integrated functioning, a synthetic approach, a synthesis approach, an approach of synthesis. So, states and the union, they have to work together. In this, the stakeholders are the different companies as well as the government bodies, and in majority the forces also. That's why this F2C collaboration has to work along with the states and the center, and then only it will be a successful model. And for which a new theme has to be written, and it requires an act again. It is not some book that we can publish it and signed by the defense minister alone. And it has to be an act, a legislation has to come in, and we have to work in a new theme. We have to identify that the threats are going to be far exceeding and dangerous, and we have to think very differently. And tomorrow and day after tomorrow, I am going to exactly explain whatever you have said. We need different committees. We need a tri-service command. There are going to be different. I want to share with you the total discussion of mine over these 3 days is split into 3 parts. One is sovereignty of ICE, that is the radar and EW. And there is something called sovereignty of shield, that is the cyber hardening. And the next something is called sovereignty of algorithms, which is nothing but AI in the battlefield decision making. So these 3 papers will give you, in sum, the total concept of what the battlefield is here today in digital space and how we have to be ready. Next question, please. Anything? It's okay.
Thank you so very much, sir.
Wonderful. Thank you, Sanjay, for enlightening all the people with your question.
Good afternoon, sir. Myself, Sir Vijay. I am second in command in BSF.
Fantastic.
And I am here on the behalf of DG BSF, sir. And along with my senior, Mr. Bhandari, he is commandant in BSF.
Before you start, BSF is very close to me.
Sir,
I was an advisor to BSF also.
Sir,
I did a lot of modeling for the border management. For the last project of yours, composite integrated border management.
CIBMS.
Yes, CIBMS. I worked with it in Tekkanpur.
Sir.
And Mr. Rajiv Krishna and all are very, very close to me.
Oh.
And I got all my honors to BSF. Please now proceed.
Sir, thank you so much. Recently, I was posted at BSF Academy, Tekanpur, sir.
Very good.
Now we are posted
You are
at
in Tekanpur now?
Sir, sir.
Gwalior.
No, sir.
Okay.
We are posted at Odisha, sir.
Very good. Please
Sir,
go ahead.
in Naxal operation, sir.
Yeah.
You talked about the quality, sir, within India or out of India. As a user, definitely I will go with the best quality. But I think there will be a restriction of the budget, and the MSME or SME, I think we have to compromise with quality according to budget, or government wants this, or not exactly the department, it is the government. We are talking about the Atmanirbhar Bharat in reference of quality. We will.
No, you are very right. I got your point. BSF has got. No, you are right. They know why. I want to share with you one IG of theirs.
Sir.
He was mentioning to me, let me have long distance binoculars, about some thousands of them, rather than having electro-optic system for me, which is going to be very costly. Then I said, fine, very fine. Let's recruit 50 10th standard boys rather than recruiting one PhD man. Will it solve the problem? Will it solve the problem, please? You require, for a particular purpose, a highly learned, and you say, no, why should I pay him 500 lakhs? Here I'll pay 5,000 rupees for a 10th standard student. I'll recruit 100 of them. You can recruit 1,000 of them, you don't get anything out of them. So what I'm trying to share with you is the same story goes. Yes, you've got long distance binoculars, but there's something called a radar composite surveillance system, which is called radar and electro-optics. And if you say that, I would like to deal with my budget in a very, very optimized way, I would like to have more numbers. And as long as these thinking practices go, we will have continuously the substandards. I'm sharing with you, please. We have to change the mindsets of the people in the decision makers. I'll tell you one thing, let me explain. You require very forcefulness to change the mindsets of the people. And now, we don't change the mindsets. You can't go against your IG. After all, obviously, he's writing your report. And next time you want to become something else. And if you protest against him and you are going to only earn his displeasure, we are scared in India. I want to share with you, stop being scared. Put your point forcefully. Have learning. Let your knowledge be with you when you talk to the people. So therefore, quality is not going to be compromised. It should not be compromised. No substandard. And budget, if you want to tell, I want to share with you, it will be laughable in India if someone says that there is no budget. Thousands of crores are being surrendered. If you want statistics, I will give you. I will give you.
Another problem is that if you don't scare, I won't buy your product. Then what to do? What industry should do? On behalf of the industry, I have a question.
We have to have a different nation. If we think China is our adversary, I'm now coming out open in the discussion. So far I've been hiding the names. And if China is going to support Pak with their hypersonic aircrafts and with their stealth bombers, where are we going to be? And all this kind of discussions, these mindsets, this thoughts of corruption, favoring somebody, and these books, do you think that they are going to help us on that day? Now we have to think differently. Today is the day of AI. AI tells you very clearly that you can't think the way you have been thinking. It is totally different. And you can't handle things without AI, because in split-second decisions, how can you make, in what kind of pattern recognitions we'll have, what radar cognition we'll have, what kind of EW understanding you will have, what kind of advanced adaptive DSP you will have for ECCM, what can you do without that today? So if we are talking about these concepts, our thinking has to change, mindsets have to change. We can't be doing what we have been doing. Now, for which this revolution has to come in every mind, and whosoever has listened to me, please proceed and to your decision makers, your decision influencers, and explain to them, confide in them. The stakes are different today. Do you know that your threat is going to be as small or as big as one golf ball? 0.0001 square meter. We don't have a single radar which can detect it.
Thank you. Thank you so very much, Commander Prasad, for your insights. May I request the anchor
yes.
to announce the...
Thank you very much. Thanks for patient hearing. Thanks, Sanjay. And I hope the talk has been useful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commander Prasad, for your insightful and energetic presentation and for sharing both strategic and actionable wisdom, as you called them, the weapons of tomorrow, invisibility and speed. Your expertise in multi-sector collaboration and national defense adds. Let's welcome Mr. Bedi with a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Employed some radar to see what was in my mind and what was I going to speak. And, you know, he's covered a very wide canvas on what multi-domain operations are and, you know, what it involves. Multi-domain operations are and, you know, what it involves. Now, I feel more interesting, you know, than your WhatsApp forwards, so that you just listen to me. Okay, now, you just listen to me. Okay, now, I gave you that context that I understand a little bit of both sides. You have synergy so that, you know, India moves a step ahead in the right manner. Now, why India needs multi-domain operational capability? Because we face multi-domain. Now, all these things have been adequately, you know, covered since morning. The central point in all this is that while we develop capabilities, we are not developing capabilities as a threat. What does a threat need? Threat needs a rapid response. So is your multi-domain operations or is your synergy in all these domains going to give you rapid Navy, Army, Navy, Air Force? They need to have synergy amongst themselves. Then there is a, you know, synergy required between government and interoperability is required between humans as well, not only in machines. We are not talking of two different equipments and say, can they operate together or not? There is interoperability required in human beings. That is, your poly has joint structures. There are so many forums. We are talking of, you know, probable theater commands required, not required. All those debates carry on. But there are new capabilities because these are new fields. And I will just, you know, bring out certain aspects, some things which probably have not been talked about in detail, though they, you know, all have been mentioned. AI, and I was discussing with Dr. Raghav Ram is here, they are working on AI. And I think, you know, lady looked at him when you said there is a very thin audience here, right? I am looking at my ESM equipment. I am seeing which missile is being fired at me single-handedly with brain. With what capability? My training for 40 years or, you know, 20 years, whenever I fought that, is there. This AI, when it's going to think for you and give you decision-making, it also needs those data points. It is not some magic. It's not going to work on magic. It's going to work on data points, make decisions for us. If I want AI systems to take decision for me, I am sitting a commander controlling battle. I have, you know, 20 airfields and 200 aircraft deployed and some 1,000 bombs and missiles at various places. Does not know complete capability of my aircraft, of enemy's aircraft, of my weapon system, of my radars, of my counter capabilities, etc., to suggest me that, okay, this is the best option for you. So till China has developed, now if China we consider is serious about these things, then they've thought of developing their own AI system, okay? Similarly, we need to rise beyond of software professionals. 2 million STEM graduates, you know, India produces every year. 2 million is a long number. And like we say, a lot of people are saying that probably this H-1B restriction couldn't have come at a better time because we are thinking of retaining talents, and this indirectly may probably. Most of the cyber threats which are painted are, they home down to UPI frauds, so many $1 million stolen, this bank fraud, etc. Whereas I personally believe that these UPI, I will draw an analogy. I have a physical identity, right? You recognize me as GS Bedi. I enter my ops room, I enter my Air Force station, they recognize me, says, show me your iCard. Tomorrow, you will have only digital identity. Gone are the days where anyone will probably recognize you, because you may be heading to different places. Into my ops room to plan my operations, or my workforce is denied entry because they couldn't log in with their biometrics because the data has been compromised. Somebody has hacked it. You couldn't care less if they can't decipher data now. They are just continuously gathering data, whatever, whether it is, gibberish or whatever it is. When the quantum computers come, will be hacked. Now you profile people, there is a, bunch of young fighter pilots in a squadron, you profiled all of them. I belong to of that, same, your WhatsApp gets a message that, in your back home, there have been riots and, something wrong is happening. So many, houses have on fire, some, etc., etc. Something where I'm immediately worried that what happened to my homeland. You have decapacitated a person's fight. You may not realize the guy may still go for the mission, but is he giving his 100%? It's a very, very serious threat. So unless you protect this with some kind of post-quantum application, we are secure. Yes, you're secure because you are not talking anywhere else. It's a symmetric network. You understand what symmetric network is. Problem is when it goes asymmetric. Civil world does not pay attention to that. They say, army or somebody has to prove it right. And as an army, I may be safe. My network, my infra is hacked. Then what exactly am I going to save? What am I fighting for? So you have to make sure that all these capability of national power is also secured. So you need to take lead in tell people that please look after yourself. People need to be, guided to look after themselves. Now there is a special thing on drones. We will talk about it then. But still there is so much dependence on government that government 2 kilometers from your, location, okay, and harm you. But we are not thinking of those capabilities. Now what happens is that if you don't think of these capabilities and you don't develop a national awareness on this cyber threat, there is going to be a problem. Space sector, when we come, to that any country that wants to have a, credible multi-domain capability cannot ignore space, and the whole thing is about, space sector. And now we are talking of surveillance. Generally we mix up between surveillance and reconnaissance. What as of now we have is a reconnaissance capability. We do not have a credible surveillance capability. What is the difference between reconnaissance and surveillance? Reconnaissance is that someone has to tell you that there is something like this at this place. Please confirm whether it is there or not. So I go and look there and say, yes, it is there or it is not there. Someone has to tell you, I dropped something there, can you find out for me? You take a torch, you look at the precise place, maybe a little bit around it, and you find it and you say, yeah, I found it. Surveillance is like roughly 2 kilometers per second, okay, Mach 5 plus. 2 kilometers per second means 2,000 kilometers of distance I can cover in 15 minutes flat. If I have a missile, if the intelligence of that area is going to take 2 hours to come, and then I take another 1 hour to decide about it, and then, whole lot of decision making and networking, is not keeping up with this component, then no much damage can be done by any ballistic missile which is much heavier, okay? All your, intercontinental ballistic missiles, etc. can carry much greater warhead, can do much bigger damage. Speed is important here, and secrecy, what you call, and we are talking in hypersonic here, not all ballistic missiles are hypersonic incidentally. Even Kinzhal, which launched, Russia launched, is not a hypersonic missile in classical sense. Just because it moves at a speed more than, Mach 5, you say, okay, it is hypersonic, and it's coming at Mach 30 from outer space. Your ICBMs goes to from there at Mach 30, 35. It's only when they are closer to target they continue to decelerate because there is no propulsion. They are ballistic. Hypersonic missile that essentially Commander it's a cruise missile which flies at 15-20 kilometers where radars cannot see it and cannot see it at a large distance. Even if they can see it, they cannot see it at a very large distance. So missile is coming out of its tail, or there is a very high value, political target or, some other target, and you want to address it within quick time. So you need this kind of missiles, which can go and address the target fast, so for which you need an associated capability. That, okay, is your network C4 ISR system playing ball to utilize this kind of capability? If it is not, then we need to think about it, okay? Communication, most important. What happens is, we are talking of network, we are talking of interoperability, we are talking of software-defined radios, we are talking of tomorrow, that BUMT operations, man-unmanned teaming. You talk of anything, any capability needs talking to each other. There is a communication flow, there is a signal which are traveling. You talk of swarm drones, they are being networked with each other. Now, if this network is not secure, if your communication is not secure, if your data flow is not secure, you are not going to have this capability just because you tested it once. Any disruption in this capability in communication network is going to bring it to absolute zero capability. So, when we are talking of these things, secure satellite is also hacked because QKD, quantum key distribution, has its own limitations. You need to strengthen it with some kind of post-quantum capability. And why are they important? They are not important. Good navigation capability, we say, okay, we need NAVIC. We don't want to be GPS dependent. It is not for an aircraft to go from place A to place B. It is for weapon systems. Now, this hypersonic missile that we talked about, what is taking it to the target, 2,000 kilometers away? How is it going to that place? There is a ion GPS involved in that. You can make best of the inertial navigation systems. By laws of physics, they will drift, because accelerometers do not work in an ideal way. Your gyros may not work in an ideal way. Yes, drift, you see what it is supposed to see. So it is inertial navigation which is being updated by GPS continuously. BrahMos, for example, when works on ion GPS, it is your inertial okay, and your inertial navigation system drifts, you would have lost multi-crore weapons for the want of guidance. So what we need to do, if we need an in-house PNT system, it's very, very important. It's not only, for, like I said, for a aircraft to go from place A to B, it is to have accuracy, the desired accuracy of your very, very, expensive systems. Okay, now talk came on this subject came, some things I just picked up off the cuff. We are building defense corridor, UP, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, everywhere, but somehow I feel that the model of defense corridor has been picked up from industrial corridor. What did industrial corridors did? They free bijli pani, okay, we will give you some stops, okay, we will charge you less electricity bill or no electricity bill, free water, free accommodation, free this, free that. Defense corridors, unfortunately, do not work only on this. Defense corridors actually need to be in such a way that they enable your capability. If I'm an anti-drone manufacturing company, say people in Haryana, Gurugram, around Delhi, a lot of companies want to do that. They bribe people, they go to some fields, there are anti-drone laws, they can't test it openly. So why are these capabilities formally not developed and provided? Yes, defense corridor it needs to be like a diagnostic center. I cannot afford every test India, for God's sake, for any high tech. We are developing engine, Kaveri engine, and we do not have the engine testing rig in India. Every time you increase 1 kilonewton thrust of that engine, you need to defense corridor. Now, if we are, 50 startups out of this, does everybody has a test rig capability or fine capability? No. So where are you testing these equipments? There needs to be a kind of, like every hospital, if I am a simple doctor, I can't have the full diagnostic capability with me. I am just going to prescribe you test and you get it done in diagnostic center, which is serving 100 hospitals. So government needs to build these test facilities for these, startups to thrive, so that it doesn't have to invest or spend too much money on these simple things, which everybody can use. These are the lines, we need to think about. And innovation versus quality, I think this debate will always continue that, what do we need? Do we need the best quality? The way we are going costs X amount of rupee, how much of that is import by cost? Okay, and what did it do for quite some time? We were indifferent to the fact whether that import is out of luxury or compulsion. If something was not even made in India, was there a choice to import it? Now, if I import something worth 100 rupees and I wanted to compete with DAP, the default price of that product became 200 rupees if I even. Because now 100 rupees I will cook up somehow to show that it is Indian content, because 100 rupees is cost me to import. Even if I want to sell it at 150 rupees, the government will not allow you to sell it at 150, because now your Indian content is 50 rupees. And so I think what we need to do is, people need to go collaborative way. Drones, when we say, why I'm giving example of drone, it's easier to fathom, because government wants every company to supply full drone. He said, do you have a drone? Nobody is buying propeller only, or ECM, or the motors, or some other autopilot or something. I think if industry collaborates, that everybody doesn't have to make anything, anybody can assemble it together. Government itself can assemble it. Your scales will go up. You may not be able to sell 1 million drones, but you will be able to sell 1 million propellers. Industry which is making world-class, good propellers, everybody will buy that, okay, and your scales will go up. You need to be dual-use technology, that people, that both, it is for military use as well as civil use. And yes, you need good quality, but if I need to reach that good quality, you cannot start from good quality. You will have to start, just because I look at a PhD guy and my child is born tomorrow, can he do PhD straight away? He will have to go through those classes, 10th, 12th, everything he will have to do. He is very brilliant, he may do 2 classes in a year, but there is no choice but to go through that. We have an advantage that we have a delta already available where we can start from a very high end, because we have the technology available. But why don't we do that? Now, let's say, we are talking of quality. I need 500 kilometers range of missile, and that is the best available in town. Now, I say, I need 500 kilometers range of missile. So homegrown industry cannot make 500 kilometers missile. Now, you say, there is no choice but to import. So should I import? Is my every target at 500 kilometers? Do I need to use 500 kilometers range missile for a 50 kilometers target, or 100 kilometers target, or 200 kilometers target? Why don't I need to do homework? For example, your EO, capability. Do I need to see everything at 30 centimeters? Can't I see most of the things at 1 meter, 2 meters, and only very niche things at 30 centimeters? So you need to encourage people who can make a little substandard or whatever it is, because you will need even that. It is a combination of capability which gives you capability. Now F-35 can launch a missile, Meteor, which is 200 kilometers range, but still retains the gun which fires at 300 meters. It has not done away with the gun. So one can argue that once it's carrying a 200 kilometers range missile, why does it need a weapon which can only target 300 meters? Because you don't know which capability will you need when. So is that gun any competition with Meteor missile? No. But it is there, because it is not totally dispensed with. So if we need to grow our system, for tomorrow's capability, I think we need to encourage that what can find a use case for that, build up your, arsenal with that economical thing, find suitable, targets for that, etc., and do your homework. Not that it is very easy to say that, okay, get me the max range missile, because now it checks all the boxes. I don't have to sit and see my target, okay, I can fire A for this place, B for this place, C for this place. We can do that homework. It's like any system. We have all kinds of aircraft. We don't have only 5th generation aircraft tomorrow, because everything everything has a role to play. So it's generally, I mean, you know, broad canvas when we're talking of multi-domain operation. I mean, what all capabilities we need to develop and how exactly we need to go about it. I know there have been a paucity of time, one can get indulging, but I think I'll stop here. Happy to take if there are any questions. Thank you very much for your patient hearings, ladies and gentlemen. Anything? Thank you very much. I'm always No, thank you. Thank you, sir. Even I was carrying a stealth radar to see what you're going to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Air Marshal Bedi, for your powerful address and for illuminating how we can weave together, not just land, have set the bar high for all of us. Thank you so much. And also, I must say, Mr. Bedi, you just did not talk about creating the impact, but you actually created the impact even when the audience was lean. Thank you so much. May I please invite Mr. Sanjay Singh. First, we would request Mr. Prasad and Mr. Bedi to please step up. Apologies. Let's hear it for Commander Prasad and Air Marshal Bedi, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, gentlemen. We have a quick announcement for all the... Please, Major Shetty, I'm sorry. Please connect with him for your sound bite. Thank you so much. The New Frontier focuses on current landscape and emerging technologies in aerospace, defense, and outer space, and explores the profound our nation's future in air and space domains. So to get started, may I please invite our first speaker, Shri A.M. Mohammad Jalaluddin, Business Development Head, Genevs, to join us on stage. Mr. Jalaluddin, looking forward to see you on stage with us. Do we have the other speaker? Do we have the other speaker? Sorry? Sure. Founder, Amos Aerospace, and former fighter pilot, Indian Air Force, to the stage. Do we have Group Captain MJ Austin Vinod with us? He's not there. Dual-use technologies, innovation, R&D, and public-private partnership in strengthening our coastal and maritime security. I would now like to invite our panelists and the moderator on stage. In the interest of time, we will have this as a speaker, Swarna Subbarao, former Surveyor General of India, to join us on stage. Do we have Dr. Swarna Subbarao with us? Just a moment, ladies and gentlemen, as Dr. Swarna joins us. Sorry. May I please invite Dr. Nagendra Semineni, Unistring Tech, to join us on stage and share his expertise with the audience. Let's hear it for Dr. Nagendra, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening all. I'm Dr. Nagendra Babu, People Company. We are working on building the indigenous anti-drone systems. So Gen Technologies is an investor in our company and is the major stakeholder. We are technically a subsidiary to Gen Technologies. So through Gen Technologies, we have been supplying the counter-drone systems to the Indian Armed Forces. We have supplied about 50 systems to Indian Air Force and then about 20 systems to Indian Army. The systems have been recently used in the Operation Sindoor also. We are doing as a company. So in this journey of in the past 4 to 5 years, we have developed a lot of technologies, especially RF detection systems. So initially we did wideband systems, then we have upgraded them up to 6 GHz. Then today we are talking about wideband systems to detect the drones up to 12 GHz. And we have built the radars indigenously. We have built a X-band radar which is in the rotating configuration, which can detect the threats up to 12 kilometers of various RCS. The RF detections can detect the drones up to 15 kilometers. Some of these systems also have been supplied to the Indian Navy also through Bell. We are also part of the indigenous system D4 that has been built by DRDO and supplied to various organizations. So we are also part of it. Through that also we have supplied these anti-drone systems to armed forces. Now coming to this current topic of the maritime challenges, the ships always traditionally have the all kind of possible equipment today on board in order to detect the threats. But the new threat that is actually coming up for them is drones. Drones are also now equally a challenging threat. Okay, apart from the unmanned surface vehicles. So now, in order to detect them, so there must be, this is a threat. So what does it mean for the industries now? There are opportunities in terms of equipping the ship with the state-of-the-art, the anti-drone systems. This is a very big challenge considering the highly contested environment that the ship has in terms of various emissions that are already present. The space that is required in order to accommodate these systems is again a challenge, especially if we are talking about the radar the kind of RCS detection that one has to do to detect the drones is also a challenge. Okay, so we are working on overcoming these issues and then providing the solutions to the maritime requirements. So we believe that this journey that we have started is going to be exciting, and then we will be able to find the solutions that are required to meet the the maritime challenges, and then offer them all the required solutions to detect the drones and protect the ships from these drone kind of attacks. So that's all. Thank you for giving us this opportunity. If there are any questions, probably either now or later, I am ready to answer. Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity.
Thank you for giving us a clear understanding of the innovation and R&D shaping the future of coastal and maritime security. Thank you so much. May I now take the pleasure of inviting Dr. Swarna Subbarao, former Surveyor General of Dr. Swarna Subbarao. Sir.
Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the session is on next generation coastal and maritime surveillance and challenges. Actually, this is more a defense topic, but along with it, there is a very strong civilian component. What I say, I can give you some information with some kind of an authority, because my PhD was on this, what happens on the coast, what kind of challenges it faces from the inside and from the outside also. Now the maritime challenges are totally defense oriented, but here maybe there may be an area where they may merge also. In the sense, the challenges that we have in with respect to the coast is that, to simply put it, the activities that take place on the hinterland of the coast, a little inside of the area. Because of that, the entire ecosystem is also changing. And coming to this, on the civilian part, I think beyond that I can't say, because if I go into the human activities, it is a very, what do you say, vast subject. We can discuss, see, what kind of activity. To the, what I say, this, the threats from the, this thing, on the defense part of it, one of the points which I would like to highlight is that, see, the coastline of India is also the international boundary. Okay. Seriously, for the reason that, one is it is international boundary, and secondly, it is so long. I think we have 9,000 plus kilometers of the coastline for India. We have covered, Survey of India has done, this is an information probably the armed forces people can use, is that we have covered the entire coast of India, which is coming to 9,000 odd kilometers, okay, in a very large scale mapping. It is not just with large-scale mapping, you get the heights, you get contours, you get all the details there, which may be used when you do, say, when you want to establish some, what is it, the defense facilities or something like that. That is very useful, which is that data is readily available today. That is number one. And then Dr. Nagendra was telling, drones now, they are a threat to the ships also. See, the drones, from the day they have come into the existence, I think they were a threat to the society. Long back, I read about 12 years, or 10, 12 years ago, an article where they were training these eagles, Paris, French people were training eagles to catch drones. See, around 10, 12 years ago. We should have recognized the menace that these drones can create. The advantage or the disadvantage in detection of the drone is that its size is so small, and it is what I say, especially in context of ships, I think Dr. Nagendra may agree with me, it is so small to recognize it and to classify it, identify it from a distance is very, very difficult. Is another ship or submarine, probably already we have enough technology to do that. But today, a small drone, hardly occupying a, say if you put it in a box also, not even a cubic meter. It's a very, very small one, makes very less noise. In the ocean, you may not hear it also. So I think that must be a real threat to the, what I say, the ships. And counter, what I say, the what you call the anti-drone mechanism for that, I think that is the need of the hour in a way. Because not only these ships, this threat is going to be there with the other smaller affairs. If somebody is needed, any of you, you also may be needing it. Not only just the coast, up to 20-meter contour, 20-meter negative contour, net and take it, okay? And the third thing is that the very most important thing which I observed, which even today we have not done, is that it is in 2004, I attended a small one UN conference, United Nations conference was held in Bangalore, day on marine cadastrum. Marine cadastrum means even the sea is divided into plots kind of thing. Like the ownership of part of the sea was thinking in those days. I think even this kind of a mechanism is needed for us because of the longest coast that we have. And not only the long, probably the richest coast. See, found like a few years back, we found a very rare mineral in Kerala coast. Suddenly there was so much of what I say activity. And even with Kutch, run of Kutch also, because of these things, we have a boundary with Pakistan there. I think there we have different kind of challenges, even though they are maritime challenges. One of the challenges that we face there is that you'll be surprised to know that the one river came about 1.5 kilometers into the Indian territory. So we lost that because the international boundary was the center line of that particular river. So the river came into our country, we lost that. Of course, those kind of things we can't do. Economic importance came into that area. It has become a very serious issue between India and Pakistan for some time. Okay. So this way, ladies and gentlemen, I cannot say much about that are faced in a maritime because all along my life, I have handled only the issues on the land. I never stepped into water. That is what we used to. This is what I used to say. When the water comes, naval officer used to take care, and I used to handle only this. And only in one information I thought I would convey it to you, like the mapping is available, photography is available, make use of it if you can. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Concerning is very, drones particularly, not the standard drones today in aerodromes
Thank you, Dr. Nagendra. Thank you for your attentive reflection of the challenges of coastal and maritime surveillance, covered not just earlier in the session today, but also observed through your experience and captured beautifully by also adding value to the same. Thank you so much, sir. In the interest of the audience, just a reminder, this was actually a panel discussion. Due to the request of some of the speakers and in the interest of time, we converted the format into speaker sessions. So with that said, I would move on to invite our next speaker, and it is my pleasure to welcome Shri Rishikesh Vedantam, co-founder, Meridian Data Labs, to join us on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome him with a huge and energetic round of applause.
Good evening, everyone. Like ma'am said, it was supposed to be a panel discussion, so I didn't prepare anything much. But when we're talking about maritime surveillance, something that I'd like to take this opportunity to change the direction of the conversation and bring it more towards Prasad sir's earlier conversation with all of us, is where we're talking a lot more about data acquisition, data analysis, and what exactly we can expect when we're talking about threats, right? Earlier, the entire conversation has been about drones, but let's bring it to have data. Rather, we have an abundance of it, and we don't know what to do with it. And it's not only about the fact that we have a lot of data and we don't know what to do about it. We don't know what to do about it, mainly because of the areas in which we get this data from, right? The point is that we need to get all of that data converging into one single platform where we can not only group these by the kind of assets or the kind of direction you're getting this data from. You fuse all of that data into one platform using a certain framework which minimizes the OODA cycle, the object, the orient, observe, orient, decide, and act, to basically a decide and act where the decision is again given through the decision support systems that the data can only provide once you have multi-sensor data fusion that is done. And with that said, I'd like to also introduce Meridian Data Labs' homegrown data acquisition analytics platform called Honeycomb, which is capable of getting data from multiple sources, maybe from sensors, cameras, satellite data, and have all of them converge onto one platform. And for multiple use cases, we do provide analytics, maybe for industrial IoT, maybe for massive IoT, and even perimeter security. So coming back to decision support, right? When you're talking about having multiple sensors grouped together and then providing analytics on it, right? That's exactly where we need to create that framework for analyzing the data and then help decision makers with the right kind of decisions based on the analytics that is provided, not only on the edge, but also in real time. So we, ships, or in fact even any naval body for that matter, they swim in a lot of data because they get data coming from multiple departments. And using that, we can always understand the vessel behavior, what are the points at which there could be a potential threat, where there could be a potential threat, and what that could be. And by analyzing this vessel behavior, recognizing the spoofed signatures, predicting anomalous patterns, the analytics layers can compress all the decision cycles from hours to seconds. And what used to be reaction will become prediction. And that's exactly where there'll be a paradigm shift which we need to bring. And we are capable of bringing. So let us work towards that. Ultimately, the coastal and maritime defense is about deterrence through visibility with integrated sensors, AI-driven analytics, and secure on-premise deployment. We empower nations to protect sovereignty, secure sea lines of communication, and ensure that hostile actions at sea are seen, understood and countered before any of these become crises. Thank you for the opportunity for me to speak today. Looking forward to taking any questions if there are any. Yes, sir. We have a platform called Honeycomb, which is a on-premise data acquisition platform, which can acquire data through multiple sensors and then do analytics in real time. Yes. Yes, sir.
That's the black box which we call it.
Hmm.
You know the kind of spectrum there, which signals are phenomenal. You will get signals, you get array signals, you get SDLC, SDLC, various types of digital and various hybrid signals. And in the that kind of scenario, if you want to do the fusion and if you want to do actually the generation of a picture, which we had a problem. In fact, today no SSMDR is very complete in its analytics. So, what is the kind of experience that you would like to impose? What exactly is lacking today in data analytics?
Yes, sir. So, one of the things that actually is a problem with data analytics is the adoption of analytics in the defense forces. That's mainly because of infrastructural problems. When I say infrastructural problems, it is the reliance on the cloud providers, and that creates cost-based difficulty in adoption. So that is one of the reasons that we see as a challenge in adoption of technology. And another thing is real-time analytics is also a challenge because the data we are acquiring is not always in real time. So decision support is slowed down because of non-real-time data acquisition.
That's not the real challenge. I want to share 46th year of my extensive in aerospace, avionics, and battleships everywhere. The challenge is basically the speed at which the signals are originating in different formats, in different ways. Each one follows its own form. And to ensure that we are able to do the synthesis, the fusion, to arrive at a kind of a complete picture. That is the challenge. The challenge is the fusion itself, because the data is available in different forms, different formats, in different fields, and they are available at different speeds. So therefore, even if you put your logic state analyzers, etc., trying to do all those things, the protocols are different, the formats are different. So how do you receive and synthesize all such kind of data? Every data stream is incomplete all by itself. It is not complete. So you have to have various data streams in order to make a final, complete, and actionable kind of intelligence. So to do that is the challenge. And for that, there is a human limitation. And the ones which we have done, the highest levels are the black boxes SWR. We are talking about some 1,000, 1,200, 2,000 kinds of signal spectrum, missed signals.
The number of data streams, that will certainly help. And something that we are also working on right now on how doing data fusion based on decreasing the number of data streams.
Thank you, Mr. Rishikesh, for enlightening us about the optimal use of data and the benefits, thus benefiting coastal and maritime surveillance. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's actually nice to represent Skyroot always, as it has been development at Skyroot Aerospace. It has been development at Skyroot Aerospace. Both of us have co-founded an organization called Red Balloon Aerospace, headquartered at Ratan Tata Innovation Hub in Vijayawada. So in this, we are trying to develop three major systems. These are called Vista systems. The second systems what we are trying to develop are stratospheric assets or aerostats, which have the capability to go from 1.5 or mobility, where we are able to move systems systems transport cargo from place A to place B, something of the order of around 4,000 to 5,000 kilometers, carrying a payload. So these are completely based on lighter than air technology, completely new, I would say, in the current era. India had mastered this from 1940s, where Homi J. Bhabha first flew the hydrogen-powered balloons from Hyderabad as part of Tata Institute of Fundamental Research Balloons. And further, it went into stratospheres, rockets, and everything blew up from that small place in Hyderabad, Usmania University. Now we develop it as a commercial activity, so where we are able to integrate ISR capabilities, jamming capabilities, also payload deployment capabilities from stratospheric assets. So payloads include also missiles or hypersonic missiles. So with these things, I would leave the imagination to your capability, and we collaborate with most of the space organizations. There are almost around 300 companies whom we are already well connected with in the Indian space ecosystem, trying to get to the element of surprises, especially catering to the needs of our tri-services. With this, I take leave, and Jai Hind.
Gopal Krishnan Sridhar with us in the auditorium. No, he's not there with us. So with that, we would formally like to conclude this discussion, and our speakers please resound. Please resound, ladies and gentlemen. Gentlemen. Thank you, Dr. Nagendra. May we also invite thank you, Dr. Nagendra. May we also invite and defense manufacturing highlights India's push for self-resilience, fostering indigenous innovation and reducing import dependency. Today's session will provide insights and reducing import dependency. Today's session will provide insights into policies, technologies, and collaboration that join us on stage. Policies, technologies, and collaboration that join us on stage. Do we have Mr. Rupesh with us? He's coming? Sure. Just a moment. We have Mr. Rupesh with us. He's coming? Sure. Just a moment, ladies and gentlemen, as he joins us. Mr. Rupesh, we would like to have you on stage.
I'll touch upon few of my experiences. I followed Commander Prasad's and provide few use cases what we are experiencing here as an industry, right? Where to your point, sir, we don't want to be importers, we wanted to be innovators, basically. So what that means is a lot of billions of dollars of R&D. And also it's not just money, spending money, but there is a level of collaboration to needs to be incorporated and also enforced. So I would actually highlight few use cases. Okay, so while I was in US working with Apple, one day I got a chance to meet with back then space startup called Planet Labs. So three very passionate, crazy NASA scientists from NASA Ames, they came together to start a company called Planet Labs. They want to go quite opposite to what NASA does. What they want to do is, they want to bring in the multiple numbers of satellites, against one satellite that actually does all the functionality. And also to bring that numbers of multiple numbers of satellites. They want to build the satellites with non-space people, like people who have never worked on space, with of course level of experience they have, where they can actually help qualifying. So when Will Marshall talked to me, I was wondering why he was talking to me, because he was trying to hire me as the systems lead and manage the supply chain and the manufacturing. So he told me he wants me to apply my Apple background than my previous ISRO background. The reason being, they believe in the innovation where the kind of the functionality to counter the heavy heavy driven satellites by using old the space grade and all. So they want to bring in the COTS components qualified to the space grade, and then bring in that components into the platform, so that these satellites can be operated much faster and have agility, maneuverability, and also support iterate in the design while we are actually getting that ongoing functionality supported. So that is the mindset, right? That is the mindset of the people with who I worked, where yes, when I joined them, I was not sure whether we'll be able to do it, but actually we did it. We ended up with launching 440 satellites. Even today, though we all claim that we have a big satellites, Cartosat and all, even today, whenever there is an incident happens, like Balakot or the Pahalgam and all, the first company, the people who wants to understand the situation and understand the severity of the situation, the first company they reach out is Planet Labs. But if you compare the resolutions of the data what Planet Labs offers, is nowhere comparable with what Cartosat can generate, what ISRO built it, or Maxar can generate. But what they have, what the ISRO don't have it, and what Maxar don't have, is the cadence at which we generate the data. That is only possible with multiple number of satellites. So to Air Marshal Bedi's comment about the surveillance and reconnaissance, basically. So these are two different use cases, basically, right? And they complement. It can't be one or the other, basically. So on that context, when I moved back to India very first time, and when I started putting together some multi-layered sensor-based stack at different resolutions, when I was excited about sharing that information about Planet is offering 3.75, I would actually offer 1.5, sub 1.5. But when I talk to folks from ISR, without getting into the details of the people, but what I was told is yes, why you are doing 1.5? When Cartosat is already making 30 centimeters, why are we doing 1.5, basically? Right? So, but the use case is different, right? People do use the only way, because I'm talking to 30 years experienced scientists, from ISRO and PhDs and all. I'm not PhD, but the only way I could actually answer or clarify his question was when I said sub 1.5 versus 0.2, 0.3. I was showing at the road, right? Where bunch of cars are actually passing by. Sir, if you see that road on which cars are passing by, there are cars which are Maruti and Tata made. There are cars Mercedes and then BMW. They both have the use case. But guess what? The Maruti and Tata has a more volume use case than Mercedes and Benz, right? But the use case is different, the categories are different, but we need these all sensor driven it's not about capability, but also data at required situation, right? Even it's very shameful to say for every scenario where any unexpected situation happens, we go back to Planet Labs. But that's what what we are trying to address the problem with at Xilinx. We believe we need all sensor driven data at different resolutions, and some sensor data is required more frequent revisit. Some sensor data is required on demand, which is what we call it tasking. So that's scenario one. Scenario two is, when I was working with Planet Labs, one program, interestingly funded by Bloomberg, to map the carbon content in the atmosphere. So what they did was, they actually picked Planet Labs as a company to develop this complete satellite, but they actually put us in touch with JPL NASA. So the idea was, because hyperspectral, building that, the spectroscopy and hyperspectral driven telescope, the payload, it's not easy for a startup. But what they did was, but at the same time, they do know that JPL has it, but if they were to work with JPL, it takes about 10 years. And that's not, they don't have that much time. So what they did was, they convinced JPL to actually work with the Planet, leveraging the reference design, what JPL built, work together, build the very first satellite, design together, build together, test together, fly together, and then transition that. That is the transition plan, to take the design and operationalize it for the volume manufacturing at Planet Labs, right? The question is, this is where, I think today, we're talking about the transfer technology, but transfer technology is not going to help, because the technology is very old, and the complete know-how of the technology and design would be with the people who actually original design. But unless there is a period of time, both industry and the companies who actually own the current technology work together, work on one mission end to end, and then the transition can happen to the industry. So with that, I would like to conclude my points here. Thank you for the opportunity, and you all have a good evening.
Thank you, Shri Rupesh, for sharing the inspiring use cases and for providing clarity so much. May I please invite Commander Prasad YVV to please step forward. We would like to felicitate our speaker, Shri Rupesh ji. Let's hear it loud, ladies and gentlemen, for Mr. Rupesh, for holding on to his patience till the end of the day and address the audience. A huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, gentlemen. And Commander Prasad, I would also request you to please propose the final vote of thanks before we call it a day. Would you like to step up? Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
I think first it goes to Harshita for handling this session exceedingly well. She has been very spontaneous, instantaneous, timely, apt, appropriate, and she has been very diligent in handling the entire proceedings. And you did very well, Harshita. And I'm personally very pleased and that you have done it exceedingly well. And your spontaneity is very good. The capture of the substance in the speeches, and again, making those points very clear in your summary, and that has been fabulous. And you will make a very good MC, and you have done very well. So therefore, from the organization and from Sanjay, and on behalf of this entire unit, I would like to thank you first, and you deserve it. And in any case, ladies the first. So therefore, I wanted to thank you first. I see. Yeah, she spoke to me, and I could make out. excellent, Harshita. I'm very pleased. Normally, it's difficult for me to praise anyone. So therefore, you got it. Thank you. I'm exceedingly thankful to Air Marshal Bedi. He has brought out the issues concerning with whatever I spoke. In fact, he made a great beginning for the next two papers of mine. The cyber war readiness and AI in the decision making in the battle space. These two are the next papers. He has made actually the practical issues. There is so much of wishful thinking about what we can do, but you can't set the human aside who is trained for decades, and he is there. But how AI can assist and what kind of interactive space is required between the AI and the human, and how we make it practical, what are the constraints, and he has brought it out excellent. It speaks of Air Marshal's biography and life, and he has certainly contributed to many aspects in his professional career. A great Air Force officer, and we have heard him, and on behalf of the unit, and on behalf of everyone, on my own personal behalf, I thank you very much, Air Marshal sir, and thank you very much for your contributions, and I'm honored that I'm going to share the stage with you again and again, and thank you very much. And Subbarao Garu, he's here. Dr. Subbarao Garu, he has spoken very well, and he has brought out lots of issues, lots of points, and the youngster also brought out what he can do with reference to the data. And he has a thought process that it is not minimizing the data streams. We are only talking about optimizing the data streams. We would not like to have the redundant data, so we would like to have optimized data streams, so that we would like to work out a complete, efficient, and action-worthy and actionable data stream that can certainly be useful for us. It's precisely the black boxes which I mentioned, that there are phenomenal signals. I worked almost about some 14 hours non-stop for the Sukhoi indigenous Sukhoi SSFDR. So the number of use cases which we test, the way we test for various herring signals, say 1553B signals, linear, and various HTLC, STLC, servo, synchro, mixed spectrum, very difficult. So therefore, testing of the data and his confidence and the way he was actually flooding with his enthusiasm are very, very wonderful. So I thank that speaker as well. So all the speakers have been wonderful. They are proficient and they are very well connected and affiliated to their own subjects and domains. So on behalf of this team and on behalf of this entire unit and on behalf of all of you and on my own personal behalf, I thank them for their intellectual contribution. God bless them. I'm very, very happy. And as the proceedings come to an end today, am I right? Yes. They come to an end today. I'm sure you all were very happy with the lunch and the coffee, tea, and the snacks. So for all those who have made the life very pleasant with a great lunch, delicious lunch, and with that kind of coffee snacks available to us timely. So we thank them because we cannot afford to forget even the tiny contribution. And that's a very major contribution, in fact. Actually, we think it is lunch. It is not lunch. It is networking over lunch. So therefore, for us to have that kind of beautiful networking session and over that lunch, the entire forum was very beautiful and they made the things happen. So I certainly thank them on behalf of this unit. And this photography unit and this particular unit that has recorded the sessions, and the boys here who have made the presentations possible, who have made this audio video happen, and for the major who has done for the entire, and for his team, that is MyStartup team, correct? And for all of them, I am really thankful, and I personally thank them on behalf of this entire unit, that is TPC GSI, and personally, and also on behalf of Advocate Sanjay Singh. So, thank you very much. Have I covered everyone?
Yes, I hope so.
Is there anyone not covered?
I think you've done a very good
job.
And
I must
Thank you so
cover
much,
these
sir.
two young girls also, who have made us have this particular trophies. And Lavanya and Tejaswini, yes. Tejaswini and Lavanya have contributed to the color and the decor of this particular session. So we thank them again, and thank you very much. Good girls, and we are very thankful to you for your participation. So, for all of you, for all the attendees, all the delegates here, and for each one by name, I would like to thank you. For each one by presence, I would like to thank you. You have made this particular forum complete, and your interactions have been very excellent, and offline and online, in fact. So therefore, I am certainly thankful to all of you on behalf of Advocate Sanjay Singh, and also on behalf of this unit, the entire unit, TPC GSI, or the team. I would like to thank all of you. So for all the delegates, and please accept my heartfelt acknowledgements and appreciation and thanks. And I can't forget, the captain comes the last, of course. The captain is the Sanjay Singh. He is a wonderful captain. He has organized this event. It is no small event. It is certainly exceedingly difficult. And to make this happen, and he has literally toiled, and he has not slept for hours and hours, almost 48 hours. He has made this particular thing happen for us. So I'm very grateful personally, and on behalf of all of you, I would like to extend my heartfelt appreciation and the best acknowledgements to Sanjay Singh. So please, let's give a big applause to Sanjay Singh for making this happen. So therefore, in my vote of thanks, my appreciation, my acknowledgements, my gratitude, my respect, and my thanks, they are extended to everyone who has, in a very minor or major way, contributed to this event. Thank you very much. God bless all of you.
Thank you, Commander Prasad, for delivering the vote of thanks with such grace and insight. Your words beautifully capture the spirit of collaboration.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. The spirit of collaboration actually defines SwaRaksha Mahotsav 2025. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to please join us for the networking tea. I am Harshita Lalchand, your MC, signing off. See you all day 2 of the event tomorrow. Thank you so much and have a nice evening. God bless you all.